Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the final day of the Asian Games 2022, or you can say 2023, whatever you like. Hangzhou, China. Joining me is Amruta Mukal. Hello, Amruta.
Hello, last day today, and we have to win 2 medals.
Yes, we have to, and I think we will. Because India right now, as you can see the standings at the top of your screen, is in number 2 position in both men and women. Uh, Getting a gold would be an amazing extra additional thing, Amruta, but I think it may not be very easy. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, objectively, the chances are there, but they are very rare because it depends a lot on miracles.
Yes. And also, I mean, objectively speaking, it's very difficult for Iran or China to lose their matches, especially because now they are in the pole position and doing so well. But who knows? In chess, unbelievable things can happen. I have made a video on what are India's medal chances. I think we can just go through it one more time, Amruta. Here, as we see, the Iranian team is right now leading. India is 1 match point behind, but we are ahead on game points. So if Iran draws today and we win, we may be able to win the gold.
Yeah, so it matters also Iran's opponent right now, which is not the strongest, I believe, for their form in this tournament.
Yes, they are
So
playing Korea, with whom we played yesterday, and Korea gave us a big scare. And I think today, if they manage to do the same to Iran, who knows what could happen. But on the other hand, India has a tough opponent in Philippines because they all are 2400 plus and two IMs and two GMs.
yeah, plus underrated a bit, and also yesterday they played very well against Iran.
Yes. So let's see if India manages to overcome the Philippine resistance there. In women, we have China taking on UAE and India taking on Korea. Both the teams are not that strong, UAE and Korea. So I believe it could be 4-0 victories for both. Uh,
Yeah, I think China here, matlab, it's very impossible to imagine that China will lose.
Yes. And also impossible to imagine that India will lose. I mean, not
Yeah,
lose, but even drop a point there. So I feel that the gold and silver in women is almost decided, but in men there is still some action.
right, right. Today we really need to beat them, Philippines. It's important. So
Yes.
what's going on?
Let's
Shall
have a
we
look.
move to the
And
games?
by the way, Amruta, this is the medal tally before the start of the day today.
Ooh,
India is having 100 medals from the Asian Games, but
beautiful.
25 golds, 35 silvers, and 40 bronze, which could become 102 today after the chess events come to an end.
Beautiful, because we have never had so many medals before. So
Yes.
that's an amazing news.
That's a good improvement. Of course, China, Japan, and Korea are ahead of us, but
No, but generally we would, I think we would reach around, what was the highest tally earlier? Maybe
I
around
think
60
70.
or 70 at the
70.
most. I'm
Yes.
not sure, but even in athletics, we did very, very well.
Yes, so I think if we go with that approach that we want to better ourselves every
Yeah.
games, then maybe it's a very good improvement. So let's have a look at Praggnanandhaa today taking on Paulo Barsamina because Gukesh has been rested for the final round. And Prag opens the game with d4, d5, c4, e6, knight to f3, knight f6, and knight c3. So we have the queen's gambit declined,
Okay, I thought
and
you were
now
going to say 3 nights.
yes, but queen's gambit declined and three knights variation there. dc4 and Amruta now e4 played. So this is known as the Vienna system to take here on c4.
Was it played in Vienna?
I think so.
Ah.
And in fact, once when we were playing in Vienna, one of my opponents did play this. And at that point, I didn't understand. But after the game, I understood.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
wow. He played the Vienna system in
Got it.
Vienna.
Got it.
So e4, b5. And Amruta, let's ask our viewers just because I want to see if they are all present here and watching this. What is the move that black wants to play here?
Okay, let's see. By the way, we also have 13,99,926 subscribers. So high chances that we might reach 14 lakh today on the stream in the next few minutes. So guys, do subscribe if you're enjoying. Hitesh Parmar says cricket gold is also coming. Kya baat hai?
Ooh. Okay, so Amruta, let's see if our viewers have managed to find this.
They suggest they're just getting into the rhythm. It's like dheere dheere they're typing. They're like slow mo chal raha hai Sagar, slow mo.
Slow mo mein answers de rahe. But guys, do give your answers. What do you think is the move here? The move that has been recommended the most is bishop b4, but I'm very surprised that the right move hasn't come out yet.
Oh wait, then maybe you give them another chance.
Yeah, because
But you also gave them a very big hint.
yeah, if you play bishop b4, I just come back.
And then somebody said knight takes e4.
But this is a massive blunder, guys. This is a massive blunder because now you're going to lose material. How?
Let's see. Guys, come on, speed up, speed up. बहुत
Yes,
slow चल रहा है.
Shobha Saini, Palyanappan, Arunachalam, Sharville. Aim, you cannot take the knight here. It's pinned. So that's not possible. But yes, Queen A4 check, Amruta.
Double
And there is
attack.
no knight coming out here to defend the bishop. So you lose it.
Yeah.
So maybe the best then is to give this up and play knight e4. But already you have given up your bishop pair and black is in some trouble.
For sure.
So-
Development is a problem.
Here, the right move if you take is definitely to take the pawn on e4. This is the correct way to continue. And I believe that all those who thought this way, you are right. Okay, so Amruta, e5 played here by Prague. Knight d5.
94. Oh, knight b5.
Takes the pawn. Knight b6, and this is important move because otherwise if I get another pawn I'm just simply better.
True.
Knight b6, and now if you think about it, white should be having a clear advantage here because he has equal pawns, he has better structure, black has these isolated pawns, but modern theory has understood that these isolated pawns need not be so bad. Because black can go for a quick c5 later, the bishop can develop on this diagonal, knight can come out this way or this way, and I mean, there's a lot of possibilities.
True. Yeah, like in modern era, we have understood that being single is actually not bad.
Interesting. Amruta with her own amazing thoughts here, which includes
Amazing.
chess and life. By the way, people who are asking, will you stream Qatar Open? Yes, we will. In fact, we will do streaming.
So excited for that. Magnus, Hikaru, Anish, Prag, Gukesh, Ilam Parthi. In the same event.
Many. Actually, not just, there are many Indians. We should have a look at
No,
the...
75 Indians, of course.
Yeah.
In that sense.
So, bishop e7, bishop e3, knight c6 played. And now Pragg played his pawn to a3. Maybe to just stop knight coming from here to here. That could be his idea. Castles and now queen c2. So one of the things that you observe here is Pragg is not castling. And he is not castling. This means that he might have ideas like h4 and knight g5 in the air here. Let's have a look at the game on our ChessBase and Mega database and see if this has happened before. Because if this has happened before, then there could be something that we can learn from it, or has Pragg come up with a new idea in this opening. Let's have a look. So Amruta, we are just having a look at this game on our ChessBase 17 and Mega database.
You think Prag has played a novelty, Sagar?
Not sure. I think this has been played before.
Okay.
But let's have a look at it. So here we have it.
Oh, by the way, Yogendra says badminton gold is also coming from men double. That's cool. But is it the last day for Asian Games as well, or is it only for chess?
I think, but it should be coming to an end. Maybe people can tell us
Yeah.
better if there are more days left. But tomorrow is the closing ceremony of chess. So it's not ending today, it's tomorrow.
No, but closing ceremony, then it should be for everything, no?
Could be.
It's the last day, yes, Sanket
Oh,
says.
it's the last day.
Wow.
So by the way, Amruta, here Queen C2 was played by Vidit against Bluebaum, Vidit against Gariga Cazorla. So I think
Vidit playing once a year. So 2023 ka baki hai.
But right now it seems like Prag and Vidit. And Amruta, this often happens that in team tournaments, you are able to share some of your ideas with the other teammates. And I think Prag might have taken this idea from Vidit. And perhaps, as I mentioned, there are ideas like h4, knight g5, rook h3, rook g3 ideas in the air.
Beautiful. Okay, one question. Do you think Prag will go for long castle?
I think very unlikely, no? Because you have the b file open here, the knights are well positioned. It could lead to some very big attacks like knight a5, knight b3.
Okay, got it.
So maybe here it feels
But
like...
maybe he can keep the king in the center then. That's what you're saying. Or are you saying that he can go for h4 ideas even with short
I think
castling?
king on f1 might also be decently positioned. So that is how things can continue. By the way, Amruta, I would like to put...
Where's your phone, Sagar?
I would like to put the bars for the Iranian team, because if Iran manages to lose or draw today, then India has a chance for winning the gold medal. So guys, let me just put that up. I mean, in one shot we will get to know what is happening in the match, in the entire tournament actually. So I'm going to put up the Iranian and also the women bars, but I feel like the women bars today not as critical, because I'm sure that our team will manage to do well. Okay, so here we have the Iranian. Just setting it up, guys. Silver, most likely if we win today, I mean most likely nahi, agar hum match today, if we win, we will have silver. But in case we lose today or draw, then of course Uzbekistan is right at our heels, so they might be able to snatch that. Okay, just putting this Parham versus Juniok. So Parham is slightly better. Idani is slightly better against and Kwan Tabatabai. Okay. No, I think digitalogy, it doesn't matter the margin with which a team wins. Just they have to win. That's the most important thing there. So there we have the bars of the most important games today between India and Iran and India and Philippines and Iran versus Korea. Okay, so Prag has played the opening pretty well, pretty quickly, and his opponent is now thinking. Let's go to Vidit's game. Vidit takes on John Paul Gomez, d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, e3 played by John Paul. Vidit goes a6, b3. And guys, a6, the idea is to take on c4, bishop takes c4, and play b5, bishop b7. That's the common idea there. But he plays b3, and now c5. Very strong move in the center, just hitting the center. We are now in some kind of a Tarash territory. With it takes the pawn takes, and knight comes out to c6, and now bishop to d3. So this could be a very interesting positional battle, Amruta, because Vidit has brought his pieces to good squares. He will develop his bishop. Oh, g6, nice. Actually, very interesting move by Vidit, and actually very ambitious move.
Ambitious, yeah, you call it?
Yes, very ambitious, because on one hand, you had a path already open for your bishop to develop and castle, but on the other, you are saying that later on, many times there are attacks on the king, so I'm ready to waste a tempo and even castle short.
Yeah, I like this move very much. The only thing, Sagar, only thing black will have to take care is that not to allow the bishop on b2 to open, right?
Yeah, if bishop on b2 opens up, it would be huge. But Amruta, then you have the bishop also in this diagonal, which is facing it. So perhaps it's something that Vidit has already worked out. Like maybe it's his opening preparation. We can also see if some games have happened in this line or not, which will give us a good idea of the opening theory in this. Should we do that?
Yes. I want to see who has played G. In fact, I want to see if Vidit has played G6 before as well.
Yeah, let's have a look here. So d4, knight f6, c4, e6,
Oh,
knight f3.
Carlson. Okay, this is just beginning.
A6. We have 1647 games, 475. C5, bishop b2. This is a favorite line of Dmitry Andrekin, it seems, and also Nihal has played it because it's his style.
And Vidit has played with Dubov with white.
Oh, Vidit Dubov here has happened. That's interesting. Okay, so knight c6, bishop d3 played, and here we have 58 games, Amruta, that has been played, and g6 has been the main move, which is scoring very well for black.
Wow.
It has been played by Diach, Bruzon, Batista, Yu Yangi, Grandelius, Rager, Cornu. If you see, this line is actually a very top player's line.
Exactly, and just look at the results. Practically, already we get a sense that how many games black has been able to beat white.
Yes. So
Okay,
this
great opening we can say for Vidit.
very interesting choice by him for going for g6.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is his position. Let's go to Arjun Erigaisi. He is taking on Lelo Darwin, because and an important one, because Darwin is someone who beat Idani Poya yesterday and is in good form.
And that's Petrov. Are we going to see knight f7 here?
No, he comes back.
I always keep dreaming and wishing for knight f7.
It's never happening, Amrita.
Someday my dream will come true. Sagar.
As the engines keep getting stronger, the value of this move is going down. The engines are giving a clear way for black to gain an advantage. Bishop d3, knight c6, castles, bishop g4 played, c4, bishop e7, knight c3, and knight goes back to f6. So it seems like there is definitely something that Darwin has done which is not in the spirit of this position, Amruta, or maybe he's played all opening theory. I don't know.
Maybe bishop g4 is not a very common idea before you castle or something like that, I feel.
Let's have a look again at our ChessBase 17 and live database.
Sure.
To get an idea, guys. Once you see some games, what are the moves, you get a very good understanding. And I think most of the strong players use it. If you too would like to use it, it's the first link in the description. Okay, so here we see that e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6 takes, bishop d3, knight c6, castles, bishop g4, c4, bishop e7, knight c3, And now knight takes c3 has been the main move here, Amruta.
But
But
not
also
too
knight
much.
f6
Yeah.
has been played.
That's why I'm saying maybe bishop g4 over here is the main move. No, you see, bishop e7 is the main move, and bishop g4 is started with.
Ah, okay, that's true.
Yeah.
But didn't it?
Because you want to castle, and then f5 line is also there is some ideas with bishop e7, c4. Okay. Oh yeah, knight b4.
So here knight b4 is the main move, not bishop g4. Otherwise it would transpose.
True.
So knight b4, bishop e2. This line actually
And then
I've seen this before. Knight
a3, you go
c3,
a3 later, or
bishop f5, a3. Then you take on c3, bc3, knight c6, pawn takes d5.
yeah, and
Or rook e1. I think this has been played by many top players. In fact, even Anand should have played this at some point. You see, Anand, Kramnik,
yeah,
Kasparov.
it's a famous, famous line. I
In
believe.
fact, there was one game which Vishy had lost in like 19 moves, or he had won in 19 moves against
Was
Ivan.
it something where the tactic like on e5, queen was on d5 and rook b5 and he lost f5 piece or something like that, right?
Yeah, something very quick ended.
Yeah, yeah. There is a trap to take care of, I remember, something like that. But anyway, Sagar, what happened in this game is more
This
important.
one here. So rook e1, rook e8, cd, queen d5, bishop f4, rook c8, queen c1, and now knight a5, c4 was played, and he blundered with queen e4 here. And Kramnik thought that his queen is pretty okay, safe, but Vishy played a brilliant move here, which is bishop d1, Amruta. Because the idea of this move is that you take away the c2 square from the queen, and if the queen moves away, I believe, to
e5.
c6, yes, this I think is killing. And you also taken b3 under control.
Nice. Bishop d1 is important. I mean, it's very easy to miss another backward move.
And he lost a piece. Wow. This was amazing, right?
Yes. No, I think it's a very famous, it was a famous line in Petrov in that sense.
Yes.
So he's gone bishop g4, which is in ratio maybe played 90%, 10%, yeah, out of.
Yeah, it's not
And
played
then
much. And now
Arjun goes. By the way, we have a random things asking, do you think Asian Games chess should have knockout format? Because Swiss format for such low number of teams makes little sense. Plus, it's hard to follow for general public.
Could be. I think the format can be tweaked quite a bit. That is for sure. But okay, I mean, I'm already very happy that chess has made its way to the Asian Games, and also they gave it enough time. They put it as classical chess. And I think Iran, if they win this tournament, they would be thoroughly deserving of their achievement, actually. Let's go and check Harikrishna's game.
Apurva Thailang asked, why can't ChessBase 17 be used for live streaming and view follow live positions? It will show all the previous games played, theory, etc. Yeah, that's a very good idea if you know. It's
actually an offline software mainly. So, even if you don't have internet, it works. But yes, there are some online
features. It would be cool to connect, if we are able to directly get the whole thing here. And
yes.
That would be cool.
G6, BG2, BG7, Knight C3, E5. This is Harikrishna against Garcia Emmanuel. And Harikrishna plays E5, which is one of my favorite openings, Amruta. D3, Knight E7, Knight D2. He's going for Knight F1, E3 to D5.
D6. I like it from black. You like it from white or black?
Both sides, actually. I've played this from both sides. In fact, if you remember, we once had a game in this line. Knight D4 by Hari is slightly curious for me. I think H6 seems natural in order to prepare Bishop E6, or you can directly play Bishop E6. I think that's also fine with the idea of Queen D7, F5 and so on. But he goes Knight D4 and A4 is played.
Knight D4 because he wanted to go B5 if Knight D5.
Oh, Here?
And then if maybe e3,
B5, really?
yeah, no,
Take, and yes, now E3, and you will lose
you
this
don't have
pawn.
b4, yeah?
Mhm.
ed, bc, why?
ED. Oh, knight D5. Attack the queen.
ये
So,
ब्लंडर हो गया.
A4, Amruta, is currently played by Garcia Emmanuel. This is generally white is trying for A3 B4. Now he's played B4. Black plays A5 to stop B4 often, but now I think black can go for A6 B5 ideas. But yeah, it's interesting. B6 BP7 is possible. So I think Hari has played an interesting good opening.
Yeah, in fact, maybe who knows that ulta bhi plan ho sakta hai. This knight goes to c6. It also has the b4 square. If later the knight is kicked away, then with e3, oops, then you go back to e6, f5, f4. Nice.
Okay, Amruta, should we quickly have a look at the Iran games, because that would give us an idea of whether Korea has any chances and whether India has any gold medal chances.
Yeah.
For now, it seems like this position on board one of Maksudlu and Lee Junyok is equal. Yesterday, Lee Junyok played a brilliant game against Gukesh to defend at the end. Was almost going to beat him, but then it ended in a draw. Sorry, it ended in Gukesh winning. It was a drawn position. Meanwhile, Tabatabai, Amruta, has gone for a very aggressive kind of a setup with G5 against Kwon Se Hyun. Uh, Position looks good for white.
Yeah. No, but it doesn't matter, because the pawn on g5 and this is Tabatabai style and
I think, but white can go c3 and try for d4. That's normally how you play when your opponent attacks on the flank. You want to play in the center. So that's how things can continue here. Idani Poya versus Guin Jun. Already looking very, very dangerous for Guin Jung. And yesterday, Guin Jung gave Arjun a big scare with white.
Oh yeah, they had the craziest game of this tournament, I would say.
And right now, white is quite solid, or you can say slightly better there. An Hong Jing versus Daneshwar Bardia. Wow, look at An Hong Jing going all out there. He played this line with g4. Daneshwar went back. It's a very solid position for black, but also a little passive.
Yeah, I like that. Ahan, that's what, it's so difficult to pronounce his name.
An.
So An. I like his g4 idea, no?
Yeah.
It's a good choice for the last round. You want to beat your opponent and they are the strongest players, so
And yesterday
it's a
he
little
also
intimidating.
gave Hari a good fight.
Oh, I mean, it was a heartbreak for him.
Yes.
He was beating him and then Sanket says Ahan for the win.
Oh, by the way, Prag has brought his rook into the center, Amruta, just like how Vidit did. And now,
Even before castling, yeah?
before castling, I think h4 is on the cards, guys. This is going to be an exciting battle by Praggnanandhaa. Then we have Vidit, who has started moving pretty quickly here. Some decisions. Castles, bishop g7, bishop a3. Interesting move, Amruta, to stop short castling. But Vidit
D4 is
took
weak.
here and said to his opponent that
Firstly, किससे मारोगे?
because if you take here, this is not good, right? Because this is a weakness. D5.
No, but 1 second. What are you even? If I take B takes C4. Oh, let's ask the chat. Stupid. Can you take knight D4?
Oh, yeah, maybe you can.
Oh, there is. There is no bishop B5 check.
Yes, there's no bishop b5 check. That's the big thing. It's no check here, and I think.
So then it is forced, no? Bishop C4.
Yeah, I think bishop c4.
That's why he decided to take here, Sagar, because white is not getting these hanging pawns, which could be like really powerful. in this situation. So he's forcing the d4 pawn to in a way Vidit isolated the d4 pawn.
Yes, b5 is correct, and here bishop b7 will come in.
b4 will come in, c3 square looks weak,
And then
knight
castle.
d5 jumping in. Oh, I love Vidit's player. Brilliant.
By the way, chess cravings. There is an issue that your ChessBase 17 freezes every time you run engine. So here's a small solution for you that I have. So when you open it and let's say you run the engine like this, let me just show you. So let's say this is the engine and you start it. What you can do is you can firstly try and reduce the number of CPUs that are there being used. That's one thing, but most importantly there's this symbol of buddy engine. If you switch it on, it takes a lot of power. I mean, it sort of slows it down a bit, so you can actually switch it off there. And I, at least for me, that has worked out well. Whenever I need it, I switch it on, otherwise I switch it off. So maybe that will resolve your issue of freezing.
Just wear some jackets so that you don't freeze.
By the way, Amrita, John Paul has taken on with the pawn. John Paul has taken with the pawn.
Oh, there is something which he is trying to find compensation in. Like he's sacrificed the d4 pawn. And what is the compensation? Let's ask this question to the chat. If knight takes d4, what should white play?
Interesting position. Actually, Vidit might be a little bit tensed to take that pawn, because on one hand, yes, you are winning a pawn, but on the other hand, you cannot castle, your king is in the center.
Yeah, that's true, but that's the question. But how does white react to it? In the meantime, we have 13 lakh, 99,958 subscribers.
Do you think
Which is
42 people here who are watching who are not subscribed? Guys,
yes.
if you hit the subscribe button, we will reach 14 lakh
Shanti
today.
say, because it's like wine tastes better when it is older. Dheere dheere.
Aryan Juneja says take on g6. Aryan, the main issue is a decent move.
No,
but
it's such a bad move.
Yes, but he missed that there is a knight f3.
He's being polite, Aryan.
Check, and then I take your piece.
Okay, but yeah, well tried. Okay, what else? People are saying knight b d2.
What will we
People
get,
are
Sagar?
not saying much. I think they are confused. They're not understanding. Sendil Nathan says knight c3. Yeah, what will we get?
For subscribing, I think what you will get are more streams, guys.
Yeah, or maybe the notifications, which might even irritate you. No, you will enjoy. Qatar Open is happening, and we are going to have so much amazing stuff there. So,
Amrita, bishop c2 is the move that should be thought of. Very anti-intuitive move. But the idea is that you want to first of all think about a check here, especially because the king cannot castle. And if he takes your bishop, you take back. Once again, with the rook coming in, knight joining in, could become a little bit nasty here actually for Vidit. How does he stop himself from how does he castle actually? So here knight d4 has been taken by Vidit, because if you say A, you must say B, and now he must. So
Vidit is looking at material here, more material. Got it.
Greedy, not for nothing. But Amrita, here's my question to the chat. In such positions, if you see, you are in trouble as white, because rook is hanging. If you play knight c3, I'll take your knight. If you play knight d2, I'll take your bishop. So what is the only move that kind of saves your position here, which is not an easy thing to realize? Yes.
Wow, that's cool. If you play knights, you cannot play knight c3, it's hanging. You cannot play knight d2, this is hanging. So knight can't develop. If knight can't develop, what's about this rook? अरे क्या ही क्वेश्चन.
Vishal says, I just realized something on 2700 chess. India now has the most 2700 plus GMs in the world.
Great
Wow.
realization.
I think that has a lot to do with many Russian players changing federations. But is it true?
Oh.
Is it true? Because I know Nikita Vityugov changed his federation. Which other 2700 plus player from Russia changed actually? Because maybe it's not like too many changed and India is just getting stronger and other countries have 2700 players who are going down. Like, for example, Swidler went below 2700 or Fedosiev went below 2700 and so on.
Sanan Sujiro was also from.
Sanan
I think
Sujiro,
he
yes,
must be
Hungary.
from,
Hungary. He went to Hungary. No, he's from Russia, but he went to Hungary.
now he went. Okay, and we have the right answer given by Harshit
No,
Jaggi.
it's not the right answer.
Okay.
This is the wrong answer. The right answer is live chess with Supratim Ghosh and real chemistry. The answer is very tough.
No, it's not Queen B3 with
No.
the idea of Bishop B2 Queen
No,
trap.
okay, if you take here, then this is great. Bishop
Yeah.
b2 or even knight c3, much better to trap the queen. But the problem with this move is queen c2 is met with knight d7. If you take here, there's knight c3. But the main problem with queen b3 is that I don't take it immediately. I go knight g4. Now I'm threatening to take, because then you can't even develop your knight outside.
Oh.
So you may ask the
It's
question.
not easy, yeah?
Yeah, you may ask the question, Amruta,
Yeah.
that why not queen c2, knight g4? And then also you are threatening the same things. But then I can go knight d2 here.
So?
Yes, and in case when the queen is on b3 and I go knight g4 and you go knight d2, in such a position I have knight takes f2. And
I
if
thought
you
knight
play
e5 you had, but you're saying knight takes f2.
Yes, because knight e5 will not really work
Oh,
because
queen
of
b4 or what?
knight e4.
Man, you have to be very alert with that king on e8 and that bishop on e3.
Yes.
Okay, this is beautiful.
And
Amazing
again
ideas.
just
So knight f2 को बताओ तो सही आगे क्या हो रहा है?
knight
F2?
g4, knight d2, knight f2. There
Rook
is
f2?
knight b3 square because the knight needs it. And
rook f2 queen a1 of course.
Yes, rook f2 queen a1. So here, because the queen is on b3,
you take that square away from the knight.
Now there's no knight
that's
b3.
so deep.
That's very deep, very tough.
And that is 14th move, right? Almost. 15th
Yeah.
move for white. So if he has to play knight d2, if he has to calculate everything here, which starts with this moment where after b takes c4, a top grandmaster will be able to calculate at this point, right, Sagar?
What?
The whole variation.
I doubt.
You doubt?
I doubt. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how it develops. Will John Paul take here? Will he go back to c2?
Got it. Ah.
Meanwhile, Arjun seems to have gotten a very big advantage. Amruta, I sometimes don't understand these positions so well, because sometimes such positions are equal. Sometimes it's like +1. I don't know why. Like, for example, rook e1. I'll just simply castle here. But now all of a sudden,
bishop h7, king h7, knight g5, bishop g5, queen h5, bishop h6.
Ooh.
And then knight d5, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And 94.
So he's gone.
94. Once again, it doesn't end here. But then rook d1.
Amruta, there was a match which was being planned between Hikaru and Magnus.
Okay.
It was going to happen in December, it was going to happen at many points during this year, but it did not happen because of the sponsors not backing it and so on. So I think, yeah, interesting actually.
Yes,
Hikaru
suddenly.
revealed it today on his stream. It was
Acha.
going to be some 3 or 4 Fisher random games, 4 classical games.
Acha.
Yeah.
Something like a
World
death
champion,
match
sort of death match, but in a more relaxed way
Got it.
or in a more long format. So Sanket says Darwin to Arjun advantage Lailo. Ah, nice. Arpit Gamer says, how can I reach 2000? I knew some tactics, but well, Arpit, you have to work on your other phases of the game. You need to keep working on your tactics and then work on other things while playing games. And I think a good idea is to start playing already.
Yeah. Tactics in games, basic in games, make sure you know them all. And then try to improve the understanding of the minor pieces to begin with.
Yeah, some positional chess, maybe the imbalance theory on our channel will
Yeah,
help you a lot.
Silvan's books are very good.
Imbalance theory playlist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imbalance theory video course Sagar's and the books for books if you like to read Silman's books.
Yes.
Aryan says, if I'm not wrong, Vishy played such a match in World Championship trapping Gelfand's queen.
Yes, absolutely right. Queen. It was on the other side of the board. Vishy played Queen F2 and trapped it. Very good.
Maharishi says it's now Sagar's turn to hold that match. Sagar.
Yeah,
Answer.
Amruta, I think the main thing is I would love to do it with Magnus and young.
No, we can also
talents.
do with Magnus Hikaru and talents, and then the talent qualifies to play with the winner of Magnus. No, that's too much.
Or it's the ulta. But I feel like the prize fund was a bit too high. Like for me, personally, in this entire, because it was a long duration, the total prize fund was around $1 million, which is around 8 crores. And perhaps it's a bit too much. I think something around the budget of 1 crore or something could be something doable.
Maybe they wanted to buy a flat near Nariman Point in Mumbai. 8 crore. So,
Ramit says, so now Iran has to lose and we have to win for us to go through on time. Yes, exactly. But also Iran, if you look at their match that is happening there, Parham is slightly better. Idani is already winning. Tabataba is equal and Bardia is equal. So, I think Iran is today not going to leave the gold.
yeah, especially when you know that what you need to do when you're so close to the finishing line. You get all your energy. Parth asked knight f3 instead of knight b3. Can you show this in Vidit's game?
Sorry?
Have we covered women's games as well?
No. Should we go and check?
Yeah.
So Harika,
Maharishi says it's impressive that they could arrange that fund. They couldn't, right?
they couldn't actually. Or maybe
Oh, by the
someone.
way, SW's flat in Nariman Point will cost upwards of 23 crores. No, that should be, no, not 23. I don't believe that. Oh, how big it is, that also will matter.
Yes.
Okay. 13 to go for 1.4 million, says Sanket. 14. किसी ने unsubscribe किया. Gold or silver, asks Jabja. Suspense अभी reveal नहीं करता है. Rook c1. So let's look at women's games. This is from the beginning. Harika is an expert in reti. Sagar, ये opening तो दिखाओ. Okay, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3. Now a6 has been played. Is she going to convert in something like e4, which will convert in Maroxiva in Sicilian? But if you have not played e4 normally, yes, it's good to delay. She goes g3, e6, bishop g2. There we have a beautiful fianchetto bishop. Queen c7, castle, bishop develops to e7. Now in Maroxiba structures, generally black loves to keep the bishop on g7 here. Knight b3, but of course white has not played e4 yet, so that changes, and that's the reason It's good to not go for e4 when you don't need to. d6, bishop goes to f4, eyeing on the d pawn on the open file. Oh, please. हाँ नहीं मुझे apply. Okay.
Castles, and now rook c1. And Amruta, a typical idea is knight d5 and also c5.
Oh, knight d5, yeah. Yeah, you were showing in one of the game, if the b pawn moves, then that's a mistake.
Knight d5. And guys, always keep this idea in mind. Whenever the rook is on c1 and the queen is on c7, the knights are in the way. This becomes a very powerful threat. Let's see what Vaishali is up to. Her opponent has played the opening quite well, Amruta.
Richter Rouser.
Okay, so this is roundabout even. But I think Vaishali will take, and go into this endgame and enjoy herself.
Yeah, I like that there is a lot of imbalance and Vaishali has a double bishop advantage. King is no, they both have long castle there. G5 it's a very imbalanced position, and I think looking at the rating, Vaishali should be able to convert this. Just looking at the rating, but let's also see what's happening in the other games. मराठी में कैसल को क्या बोलते हैं? Asks संकेत. इकडे तिकडे.
By the way, Travel with Nikhil Roshan, member for 15 months, says, hello friends, please like 790 people watching. Yeah, please do like the stream, and also 14 subscribers away from hitting the 14 lakh mark. Amruta, I was thinking of this move, but I thought before she will first exchange twice on d4 and then play this move. But instead she's hit with this move instantly, which the engines do not like, because after take, the queens are still on the board, and according to the engines, this is a slightly better, version for white, because now bishop f3, this pawn is strong. Endgames may, if you remove the queen, already rook h8 and this is hanging. But with the queens on the board, you go this way, suddenly queen comes and defends it, attacks the rook, and there's so many problems. So this is how things are. And the last game that we are going to second last game in women is Vantika against Kim Sarang. And guys, in many ways, these are the games you should definitely pay very close attention to, because many of you are rated in the same range as the opponents of these women players. Not all of you, but some of you. And you will see that the mistakes which are being made are generally, like here, this opening is fine, Now, but what is rook b8? Like, why would you play rook b8? What would be a better move according to you in this position? Black to play. A5, Max Rafael. B6, very good. Sendil Nathan. Kumar Sai Varun. I think B6 makes a lot of sense, because you want to put your bishop here.
I have a doubt, Mr. Sagar Shah.
Yeah.
Can I go e5?
Yes, why not? It's a very interesting move as well. Amruta being very much alert to this move rook e8 that has been played. you will land up with a slightly inferior position.
The d5 pawn is like...
But I mean, it's not the end of the world. Already, I felt like rook e8 was inaccurate here. Rook
Because
e8.
you are anyway not intending e5. Like if it's not so
Possible,
powerful.
but maybe it's one of the main lines. Yeah, okay. Then I'm wrong. But queen e7 is the main move if you play rook e8. Okay. Rook b8, b3, knight f8. Where is this knight going? If you put it on g6, think about it. It looks good, but it can go nowhere. Bishop b2. And so you will see that just like that, the position has become quite bad. And in fact, Vantika is definitely missing a few combative moves here. Amruta, like last time also d5 was possible. She didn't go for it. Once again, d5.
But I still like first h6. Because if you play g6, and then I would look at d5, queen d4, queen c3 ideas. Maybe.
Possible.
Okay,
But maybe I can come here. But Amruta, the thing is d5. You see the point. If I take, then already the position is pretty bad after rook e1. Because now I have this hanging, knight g5 coming if you go queen f7.
And what would you say about h8?
h8 knight.
Arjun, welcome to the backer of Indian chess and renewing your membership.
Thank you, Aya.
Thank you. Yeah, what did you say?
Very sad in life.
You?
He's doing nothing.
But he's relaxing, no there. I think he's happy. Other guys are dukhi because he's relaxing there.
Yeah, that happens often. Someone goes on a leave and other people get more work. e5. And guys, here it might feel a little difficult to calculate what is the move, because if you don't play it well, then black is getting e4, but white has a strong move.
Udhar dekho.
Oh, 14 lakh we have reached. Guys, thank you so much. 1.4 million subscribers on ChessBase India today on live stream.
Chat OP ho jaye ek bar. Thank you guys for subscribing.
Thank you. AIM says congratulations on 14 million. Yes, thank you so much. 14 million थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया एक.
I think ये million का game I think Indians को थोड़ा tough है.
Yeah, I think.
Why do we use lakhs and crores, and in the globally it's majorly used as millions? And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's something that's just very much to India. I don't think anywhere else it's used. But guys, thank you all. It's very rare that we can achieve such milestones on live stream, because generally it happens at the back end when we are doing something else. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, Travel with Nikhil Roshan. Congratulations, ChessBase India, for 1.4 million. Thanks everyone for this. Yes, and thanks all those who kept always pushing everyone that guys do not forget to subscribe, because and I think Nikhil, you have done that quite a lot.
Always,
also Rakshit, always saying 10 lakh, 10 million to ho hi jayega.
But guys, here the move is knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, and now you can think of d6 with the idea of queen d5, but also very good is rook e1, and this is gone because the queen is hanging and it is game over. Like if you take this way, then I take here. If you take this way, you have a lot of material,
D6,
but your
D7,
pieces are terrible.
Bishop d5 check. Yes. Okay, so here she is winning. Vantika is winning.
Yes. No, she's better here for sure. And yeah, she's close to winning. Also in the game of Savita, you can see how she's attacking brutally, Amruta. It was a King's Indian.
That is one of the things which I really love about Savita. She's a very aggressive player. In fact, if you look at our top women players, Vaishali, Savita, they're
Divya.
yeah, more aggressive players. Even Vellapulu.
Velpula.
Shreya says, ChessBase India, please come to Pune. Many chess enthusiasts here. Oh,
Coming
we
soon.
love Pune.
Coming soon.
Sinhagad, Fort.
Coming
Beautiful
soon
one.
to the to open a club in Pune, Ahmedabad, and Lucknow. The talks are on and very close to starting it. By the way, Queen E1 played, and guys, now it's because this
Garam
was a
Nilo.
forced mate.
Okay.
So if you play here, it just take and next take this and piece up. So Savita is winning. If you see what her opponent did wrong in this game, she just went and gave up her bishop. And that's generally not a good idea because this is your good bishop. These are your bad, like this is your bad bishop as compared to the pawns. And she just went and gave it up, which is still okay. But then she allowed her opponent to sort of get these dark square control. So you will see the players who are not higher rated, they make these errors. First they give up their bishop, then they let opponent's bishop take control and make too many sort of errors, which of course the stronger players take advantage of.
Amazing. And by the way, Vidit's advantage has turned into quite decisive, it seems. So
Let's go to the.
can we look at that?
Yeah, I think
Also, guys,
women
we
will
are
most likely win 4-0.
it's around lunchtime and बहुत भूख लगती है कभी कभी while you're especially watching chess. Somehow it happens more. Yeah, Sagar. Maybe I think I want to ask the chat a good question. What is the most convenient time for you to follow the streams? Is it afternoon? Is it evening? Is it night? Which is the time where you love to follow streams? Live streams. Night. Oh, mostly everyone's saying night. Hey, देखो midnight after 12. Ashura says evening with garam chai ki pyali.
I think in India it's midnight. But if someone is in Europe and wants midnight, that's already 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in India, which is impossible to stream.
Okay, but mostly it's post evening, which is interesting. That's cool. तुम इधर आ जाओ, वो माइक अच्छा नहीं लगता क्या?
माइक मिडल में रखना है.
क्यों?
बोला है ट्रैवल विद निखिल रोशन.
ठीक है, मैं जोर से चिल्लाती हूँ, तुम थोड़ा इधर आ जाओ अभी के लिए. I will try to shout. School exam going on. अरे मैसेज किसी ने डिलीट कर दिया, पता नहीं, नाइट बॉट नहीं, बट स्कूल एग्जाम गोइंग ऑन बोल रहा है. In Gujarat, so very hard this year because of JEE also. Got it. Overall, people prefer at night and very few in the early morning. Maybe अकेला है ना early morning. Okay, guys, by the way, we are eating thalipit, which is a very special Maharashtrian cuisine.
But Amruta,
Those who have not tried should eat it.
if now we can get back to chess.
Yes.
Knight, actually bishop a6 के जगह bishop b7 was better to get this long diagonal. But even bishop a6, knight c3 and knight d5 was played. And here already the engine shouts a huge advantage for Pragg because after take, you take with the queen. And now I play a very powerful move, guys. What is it? White to play. Let's see if our chat manages to find this, Amruta. Slightly tricky, this move. But it is a theme which comes very often in such positions. So they should be aware of it.
Do you think you need to be a tricky person to find tricky moves, or you can be also a simple person and find tricky moves?
No, you can. Uh, you can find if you're simple, but I mean, generally.
सागर completely गूगल ही हो गया क्वेश्चन के बाद.
Okay, so
क्या हुआ सागर?
let's see what the moves have been suggested. Knight g5, guys. Knight g5 खेला तो मार देंगे. ये मारा तो ये मार देंगे, मार देंगे, मार देंगे. तो don't, not knight g5. All those who said h4 today, our chat, some of them really shining through. Itachi, Abhibhav Kumar, and Harshit Jaggi. Well done. h4. And the idea is this is a very powerful move. Because let's imagine you go g6. I have h5 already breaking through the king side. And if h6 here, then now comes knight g5. hg5 opening up, or you can even do this better by doing boom 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 boom
Wow.
boom and forced mate.
मजा आ गया.
क्या थाली पीठ खा के?
नहीं, थाली पेट खाते खाते ये वेरिएशन देख के. Nice. So Prag's game, I think the way it's going to end already looks very, very exciting. Like looking forward to how he will finish it.
Do you think Pragg will play h4 here? Because if he plays directly h4, opponent has a chance to get rid of this bishop when the attack won't be as strong. But if he finds this idea with knight d5 and then h4, that would be something, you know, Amruta, because that would be very deep understanding
Correct.
of chess,
I
this
agree.
position, everything.
Because normally you're like, you're always okay to get rid of that e3 bishop. Like you never worry about that. And suddenly you shift your mind and you understand that, oh, that bishop is actually important in your life. Yeah, ऐसे छोड़ के नहीं चलेगा.
Sometimes some person who is just being a very solid supporter, quiet supporter, you feel that it's not important in your life because you know they are silently supported. But then when they are gone is when you really miss their presence, because then suddenly all the things which they were doing becomes
Yeah, that's why it's always better to be aware and to when they exist to appreciate.
yes. Guys, please appreciate the silent
let's not
supporters
get-
of your life.
That way. Yeah, time to just send a thank you message.
Amruta, knight d4, and as we were talking, either knight d4 or bishop c2, but he went knight d2, and he thought that okay, if Vidit does something else, I will be much better. I'll get my knight here. But Vidit goes here, and all of a sudden, John Paul Gomez in big trouble because
Knight b5.
because
Nice
take
score.
here, this is hanging.
And otherwise it's a double attack, no? Because you are attacking a3 and you are attacking d3.
But now one mistake follows another. He goes knight e4, completely.
Hey, you're winning a piece, no?
Not really, because
Q?
here take. He wants to give a check. And guys, this is what his idea was.
I don't like to give that g7 bishop.
But after queen d7, queen a3, and now Amruta comes the very
Wait.
simple
I
move.
haven't seen yet.
Guys,
Simple move.
white to black to play. We have in the chat just Piron says Prag is my cousin. Arey,
Oh, really? Wow.
because my bro plays like him. अच्छा क्या ही बोलूं मैं?
हर्ष से सागर भाई पोस्ट ब्रेकअप वाला ज्ञान दे रहे हैं. So, Harsh Shaw says, Sahe Sagar, can you please explain what are the requirements to win gold? Yes, mining. Mining. Okay, please explain the requirements.
Okay, guys, we are back here. Sorry for that small breakup that we had. And thank you for being back, staying back. So 94 is losing now. So Vidit in the driver's seat, he's winning. Let's go and check what is up with Arjun. Guys, see after bishop h5, he goes bishop e4. Maybe rook e1 was a better move, but okay, bishop e4,
Yeah.
knight c3, bc3.
Chiji's chess asks, Sagar, and you girl, what do you think? Who has better position, Vidit or Sean Paul? Vidit. Vidit has a better position.
By the way, Amruta, a super chat has come from Travel with Nikhil Roshan,
Okay.
who says, Sagar bhai, it would be interesting to see two engines battle each other. कोई video बनाओ ना, मजा आएगा. Maybe, yeah, I'll think about it if I can make. I have not really taken much interest in engine matches, but they are always a source of great new chess content, new ideas.
Yeah, but I really loved Sagar's lecture in IIT Chennai, where he had kind of decoded Alpha Zero's games, and that was very, very interesting.
Yeah, it was also
Do try
nice
to
for
watch.
me, that one.
Yeah. And that was back in 2018.
17 or 18?
2018.
17.
December. Yeah, 2017 December. Oh, smart.
F5, F4 on cards now by Harikrishna. The position is roundabout equal here. So, Hari has nice pawns and pieces here. Even b6 is possible, f5 is possible. Let's see what he continues with. Generally, Harikrishna goes for more solid approaches. So even knight c6 could be an idea to reroute the knight to the center.
But I think majorly breaks are going to happen on f4 and f5, right? Because you don't have b4, you don't have d4, and then that's the way to open the file.
And by the way, Amruta, I'm a bit surprised that all the bars have reverted back to their original self. So here,
What is their original self?
for like they all were on the India versus.
But I remember you saying that a man who walks on the river once. Kya tha wo?
Yes, but bars don't. Man, it's for man.
But can you say that
The
again?
same a man who crosses the river.
It's not the same man.
No.
Wait. I'll tell you. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man. Says Harikrishna. Hira. Okay.
So Amruta, right now in Iran,
Yeah.
Parham is equal, Idani is winning, Kwon is equal, Tabatabai is equal, Tabatabai. And Bardia is slightly better. So Iran is looking all set for a 3-1 victory at least. So guys, I think we should not have any hopes for a gold. I think silver might be the best that we could hope for.
But also that we need to win today is very important. Otherwise, we could be in danger otherwise.
Amruta, but Prag actually very surprisingly did not go h4 here. He went bishop g5.
So he changed the move order, no? Because I think anyway he wants to go h4 now.
But also he's thinking that if you take, then this is already winning
Checkmate
position.
idea, g6, and now h4 looks very... In fact, knight e4 is also an idea. No, I don't care about that rook. Come on. No, you really want to take that rook?
I mean, I can do 94 later also. Why not win material?
नहीं, material में कुछ नहीं है रे. Experience 94 and experience of checkmating.
Like this.
Deख.
Yes?
Yes.
Maybe, but I would take the rook also. It looks pretty good. So bishop g5. Let's see what.
Hey, but what about f6? F6.
That looks very weakening, no? Somehow takes.
No, how? Bishop f6.
Mhm. Yeah, possible. So f6 may be best for Barsamina actually. Meanwhile, Vidit has to just find now queen d7 or bishop d7, take on e4 and take on a1, and he would be better. And Arjun Erigaisi, rook b8 played, while Harikrishna has gone f5. Yay! Hari has played f5 move. That's very cool. In the women's section, Savita Shri already scored a win after queen takes e1. Her opponent has resigned the game. She couldn't take it anymore because she's losing a piece. Meanwhile, if you look at Vantika's position, she has a strong queen, weakness here to attack, and Vaishali is doing interesting. This is an interesting game with Soyum Kang.
But they didn't go into queen exchange endgame. That is cool.
No. Generally, in such team tournaments, Amruta, one player always comes out and does well for a underdog team, which is always nice for that team. And Harika is completely winning against Sun Woo Park. Let's look at what Chinese women are doing. Ho Yifan already won her game. Today is a game of miniatures because very strong players taking on not so strong players. Look at how Yifan has attacked. Kind of mercilessly there. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
Boom. And her opponent resigned because now this is hanging and this is hanging and there's mate here.
But she was playing against 1900, like quite a decent opponent, and that's a beautiful finish.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice. She will enjoy it. I think that's the aim with
I
which
think
she
China is winning, so in general.
China, Zhu Jiner is winning. Tan Zhongyi is better.
4-0, they'll convert 4-0.
And Jaimo is better. So,
yeah. Basketball Universe Super Chats, great analysis and great sense of humor couple. Especially Amrita, mining gold. Mining gold.
By the way, Amrita, f6 played not just great sense of humor, but great sense of chess shown here by Amrita.
Yeah, you just feel a little suffocated with that structure here, and that's why I think it's natural, no? When the king also is in the center, you try to go for counter attack. So f6, but so how is Praggnanandhaa going to react for it after bishop takes f6 is the question, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
maybe.
you go h4 or how?
Could be, but now Amrita, the attack is not that potent, especially because the center seems to be opening up. So
that is the reason you said that h4 is important.
It's important
before.
when this is closed that you play h4.
And now you don't have time for, let's say f5. Yeah, I go
f5, take bishop f6, and if we reach the same position, I have not sort of brought my bishop here, so this is well controlled.
Yeah.
And now I could think of short castling. It's a possibility just to claim a clear edge. My pieces are well positioned for the central play.
Got it.
But Vidit is thinking whether to block with the queen, the knight, the bishop.
Or even the knight of d7, maybe if he wants to win the material. Though I always don't like that bishop, winning that rook there and weakening the dark squares.
Yeah, no, this is not good because now knight d6 check and white has full compensation for the missing exchange. So Vidit should not go knight d7 and get greedy. What he should do is he should play bishop d7 perhaps. Oh, but there is knight d6 check.
Man, then isn't queen d7 forced or even king f8?
Queen d7 or knight b5 also is fine because after cb, I have queen d3 hanging.
Oh my god, it's not dangerous. B takes a6 is a discovered check and...
Yeah, just come back and... and piece up.
But how is king f8 here? Because if queen a3, king g8,
No,
and
but
then I run
then
away
you
with
are
h6 and king
you're at
h7.
least safe here,
Yeah.
Amrita. I mean, as
White.
white.
Development
Just
is a
putting-
problem. Okay, Vidit plays. Vidit plays queen d7, which is
Great move,
important.
and also to knight d6. Now you have king e7, and if you take here, you lose a piece. So you need to play knight c8 perhaps.
But
Then I
then
take rook f h c8, queen a3 check,
and
queen
queen
d6,
d6.
take and take. And here you haven't won more material like exchange or anything, but your pawn up with complete control. King goes back, knight goes to c5, bishop is well placed. It's winning.
Right. Okay, so as a roundup, what is the score we are looking at for men's right now?
I think as a roundup, we are definitely looking at 4-0 today.
For men's.
For men, except Hari, everyone has a tangible edge. In the Iran versus South Korea match, I think it should be 3-1 or 3.5 in favor of Iran.
Okay.
And already the women's team has, I think, won the silver medal, Amruta. I think we should have the silver, the women's team on our screen, the bars of it, right? So that people who join in have an idea of what's going on in the games of Vantika, Savita.
Hariom Bhakchandani says, I was at Mumbai on 30th September, your club monthly tournament with my son. Oh, very nice. What happened in the tournament? Did you both play or how was it? Drama in Kabaddi match. Oh, controversy in Kabaddi match. Okay, something going there. 4 says gold in badminton.
Oh.
Nice.
I think India is doing well in badminton for sure. And yeah.
Rima Sagar, please tell about any coach online under rupees 5,000 per month.
No, there are many good academies of very good trainers.
Normally, monthly trainings are, you should be able to.
I think this is a very decent amount that you have. Check it out. I think if you just type top players, you will find. Or you can write to us at chessbaseindia@gmail.com and we will write back to you.
Itachi asks, are there any Pakistan chess players? I don't in this tournament. No. I'm not sure, but normally they do have the strongest player, Mohammad Lodi.
Mohammad Lodi.
Mohammad Lodi. He used to play many times in India actually.
He's an IM.
Yeah.
I think there are two IMs.
Funny guy, nice guy.
Two. Yeah. I think at some point their chess will also start to grow.
Ezechias Francisco says watching from Philippines. Very good analysis. Because it's India versus Philippines, and that's true. That's true. Basketball as Sagar bhai, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 33. By the way, knight c8. Now rook c8 is hanging. Amruta will be taken, and Vidit has now a risk-free edge. This is like what?
Masala chai, drinking near a European cafe, and relaxing.
Yeah, I was going to say this is bread and butter for Vidit. But he also said cafe, and we both thought a similar food.
So actually, bread butter with masala chai.
Yes, something like that in the position.
Nice.
But I think Barsamina is a big fighter. Yesterday he gave Maksudlu a tough time, and today he's actually making Prag's task not at all easy. So good play there by Paulo Barsamina. But okay, Prag can just come back with his bishop here to f4 or to e3.
I like e3. Just rectify your thing. I mean, you have done your job on
and
g5.
Just then play with these weaknesses.
And in fact, maybe what Prag thought, Sagar, maybe when he was short castling, sometimes you could feel a little bit of discomfort with the pawn on h4, this bishop eyeing there. And now if he will castle, he is actually happier with the pawn structure this way.
Yes.
Could be a deeper understanding than the computer.
possible. You know, one player whose game is very tough for me to understand is Arjun. His games are always very, very complicated. By the way, another position which is very tough to understand are these pawns in the center between Harikrishna and Garcia. Like, you never understand what to do, right? You want to.
So normally there is two things to remember. Like when your opponent takes here on f5, you generally like to bring your g pawn to f5. So that's the usual thing we do. Same for takes and takes. So it's all the time keeping the tension. You don't want to release the tension, and the moment you want to release it, because you know what is you're gaining something out of it. So I think Sagar, after f4.
I don't know how to resolve. I think all moves are okay. You can take here, take here. You can't. You don't.
Yeah,
need to
this
take.
one without that one knight makes a lot of difference. A
Yeah,
knight on
even
e7 and
this.
knight on f3 makes a lot of difference.
Let's
in
see
this scenario.
how they continue. But you know, guys, generally this used to be a big headache for me. But then I think the solution to it is just to observe closely. Like what's happening? Is this hanging? Knight is hanging. Nothing much. Okay, can play this. What if after I take here, what happens next? So it's like going over it slowly. It's like sometimes, you know, you have a lot of work on hand and there's so much to do and you feel overwhelmed. Then you quickly note down one or two tasks and suddenly everything becomes manageable. It's a similar scenario.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like you generally with all the multitasking, you're just not at all stressed there. You're easily able to handle. So it's like you just ignore. जब मारेगा तब देखेंगे.
Also, Amrita, here, if Hari thought that if I don't do something, let's say king, just to show, then he takes, and I can't take with the pawn because this hangs. So that's the reason why he kept it very subtle with this move. So if you take, I'll take back, then this is weak.
Yeah, I would still say there is this slight, preference for black because he has the knight on b4, pressurizing the d3 guy. And normally, white's knight is in the center on d5. And you see here, he's not going for that. Let's say right now he goes knight d5. What should black play?
It's a question to the chat.
You can also answer. It's very simple. So.
Oh, this pawn is hanging. Oh.
Yeah, so in general, I think it's more for black, a lot of things are very harmonious.
Okay, cool. So, Amrita.
Yeah, queen a4. And yes, you could also take on d5 and then take on a4. Hari game, very mirror effect. Absolutely. Except for the difference of the knight on b4 and this pawn is on b6. I think that's the only difference, right? Everything, and then now the king is also on h8. But rest of the things are same. So b6 last move, and I would say to continue with the mirror effect, white could go b3 and safeguard this pawn here. So, you know, all these ideas, he can then later go knight d5 if he wishes to. Okay, so this is Hari's game. Let's move to, did we see Arjun's game? Yeah, a few moves have happened. B takes c3, castle, rook b1. Okay, he's attacking this guy here on b7 and you cannot play b6 because then c6 would be left hanging. Also, this is a idea to keep in mind, the rook shift there. Rook b8 was played. Now he goes rook e1. So you see there are two open files in the position and white is going for them already. Bishop goes to g6. Let's observe that there is no more a pin for the knight on f3 here. And this exchange after bishop takes g6. Oh, he took on g6. H takes g6. And Arjun is thinking. What would be your suggestions for Arjun here? White to play. Bishop f3 says, yeah, bishop f3 is not coming. Maybe you wanted to say bishop e3. But he. Did anybody say queen a4? Not yet. Bishop f4 was the suggestion. Knight e5 was the suggestion. c4 is Chinmay, I like that very much. But Arjun has gone queen a4. And let's try to just have a look at bishop f4. Very nice move. You're keeping an eye on the c7, so the queen cannot easily come to d5. Plus, you might want to go knight e5 later. But I also really like the suggestion of c4, where you are right now able to advance your pawns. Maybe there are very interesting ideas. You see the bishop here. If it goes to f6, to attack this whole pawn on d4, you can push d5, and this knight cannot go to a good square immediately. So that is a very possible thing. The pawn could in fact even advance c5. So the central pawn storm was able to advance, but Arjun first goes queen a4 over here. Maybe now he intends c4, but he might need to be a little careful about d4 pawn. He's putting pressure on the a7 point there, and he's shifted with some different ideas. He's now going to go bishop f4 also. So in a way, all the three pawns will be will be like under some sort of prison from white. Slight advantage, not the best move I would say for white. Queen a4, c4, bishop f4 would have been slightly better. But yeah, queen a4 is a very, very practical move as well. Let's go to Vidit's game, because he was clearly better, and what transformed after queen b3 was played. Gomez did not exchange the queens. Knight goes back to d7. I think it's a maybe better decision not to exchange, because at least until the king is there, white should try to find some counterplay. Knight c5, queen goes to b1, and the threat, white is threatening something here. What is the threat for white? Let's say I go king f8. What should white play? Just to warm you up, I'm sure you guys are alert there. Hariom says, sir, my son played unbeatable in Phoenix Market City Mall. He's 11 years old and would you like to say congrats to him? Okay. Once Sagar joins us, do write this again. That's cool. Being unbeatable in any tournament is never an easy task, especially with 7 rounds. Oh yes, Chinmay, that was very fast, very quick. Sendil Nathan, P, Aryan, Ashutosh, general knowledge, Muhammad, Sneha, Adi, Sanket. Not a single person has given a wrong answer. Bishop g6, and there you have a disco. So Vidit obviously is going to move the queen. He goes to f4 there. Queen f4 on dark square is beautifully placed, and this is defended with the knight, and the knight cannot be pushed away. This bishop is beautiful. So Vidit is winning. We know that he is winning, but it would be also nice to see how he is converting there. Okay, let's go to Praggnanandhaa's game. What did he do after bishop f6? Because it's important to see whether he will be able to get advantage in any way. He goes bishop e3, rook a b8 now played. You just have to be a little careful there, because there will be ideas like c5, and b2 will be definitely under some sort of pressure. He castles here, and the question is, can black... No, right now c5 is a super blunder, because you can play d takes c5. This will be under attack. You cannot take here. So, man, it's not a super blunder as such, because black does have a counter-attacking move attacking the queen there, because if you take and then take wow, and then this is attacked, and then the c pawn looks dangerous. You have to be a little careful. In fact, maybe I should ask you guys, what would be the best move for white in this position? If c5, what should be white's best move? Oh, Kabaddi suspended. Huge fight between the players and the referee. Okay, white to play. The question is, what is the best move in this position? And let me tell you, nobody has found it until now. Okay, the first one to find it is Princey08, then Itachi, Irfan Ali, P, Sneha Gupta, Sendelnathan, and Ratnam. You guys are right. Queen A4, and you see over here on A file, you see these are the loose pieces. You cannot move the knight away because your bishop will hang, and currently this knight is hanging. You might, the way to try to save it, if you try to go a move like rook b5, now d takes c5 comes because you do not have rook b2 attacking the queen anymore. Similar for queen d8 or something. And if black plays c takes d5 supporting the knight over here, then you are very happy with this position. Takes, the rook is the pieces on the side here, and c4 is weak, so this should be quite a good position. Bishop is coming to f3, the pawn on e file is weak. Very cool position there. So queen a4 would be important in such a scenario if c5 is played. So castle, and if Paolo misses queen a4, he might strongly consider a move like c5. But the best way to continue for Paolo would be to, just lock it, bring your knight to b3. It's very well defended, and you're also exerting pressure on the d4. Plus, you are supporting the c5 square. So knight b3 would be an important move, after which I believe Prag will make a calm move, rook e1, and keep a long-term idea there. Okay, so this is Prag's position, slightly better, but Prag has to do some work, and also his opponent has to find some good moves there. So we should keep a watch on this game. Vidit, as we saw, queen f4, rook fe1, Vidit is clearly better. Going to Arjun's game after queen a4, his opponent plays a6 and says, no, I don't want to keep worrying about defending the a7 pawn there. So that's what he does. Very decent move there with a6. And Harikrishna, some tension is being released. F takes e4, d takes e4, and now Hari, he actually took fe4, d4 there, so that you are opening up the file, and this pawn is called as a backward pawn. You see there is no pawn on the adjacent file, and it's the one who is supporting the others. So it's a backward pawn, and it's generally a weak pawn. So knight c6, so that the knight can block the file and go to d4, and that way defend this guy here. So f takes e5. Now the question, with what would you like to take the pawn? The knight, the bishop, or the pawn? F takes e5. Manas Singh says Kabaddi was tied on 40-40 and a controversy raid happens, and India wants to get 4 points but Iran wants 1 point for defense. So much chaos. They suspended. It's been 30 minutes. They are fighting. Bishop, pawn, knight, pawn, d5, d5, there's pawn, bishop takes e5. It's a lot about perspective here, a choice here. It's possible to take with the bishop, it's possible to take with the knight as well, but I'm not sure about d takes e5 there. I mean, d takes e5 would be your last option mostly, because your bishop is blocked over there. Sure, you have knight d4, so it's not a bad idea for sure, but maybe bishop e5 is something very cool, where your bishop is open and free and you're intending knight d4 or bishop d4, and this bishop is protecting the isolated pawn. So I like bishop e5 more. It was just a question to understand the different perspectives there. Even knight e5 for that matter is a very good idea there. You might think about knight b5 and feel worried, but d6 can be protected. You have knight f7 also if you need to go, but the whole point is keeping the g7 bishop open. That's the whole point, and this pawn, keeping it isolated. So it's the war between which is weaker, the d6 or the e4. So I think it's for the piece activity that you may avoid taking with the pawn in this specific scenario. It always differs in different scenarios. Okay, so the Hari's position currently, we will say it's he's equalized, but it is unclear. They both have 45 minutes and it could go any way, but should be a bit of initiative to Hari. But I think he should be able to hold. Okay, Arjun, by the way, goes c4. Now he's made sure that this b5 is anyway taken care of. With the queen on a4 not possible anyway, and d5 is definitely in the air. So what is black going to do here? What can black do? Imagine a move like, yeah, black will say I want to activate my bishop, so he might think of bishop f6 and attack this, because if black tries to go knight d4 here, if knight takes d4, how should white continue? Big blunder. Tell me the second move, not the first one. Adi says, can you create a video on how to prepare against opponents? Yes, that should be good. Maybe there is already or no video on this. What is the second move in the calculation, which is important? So not the first one, but the second one. Wow. Like it. Quite a lot of you found it. By the way, people who are saying rook d1, wanting, very natural to consider this for sure, because you are pinning here, but there is a problem. There is a problem, and can you try to find a problem? But the right answer was given that this is the move. Rook takes e7. You win a piece, and you see there's no check anyway, and the queen was deflected. It was in fact overprotecting. Queen d4 and queen e7 couldn't manage both the things together, so lost the e7 bishop there. Okay, so the question is rook d1. What is it that black... Yes, of course, black can simply take on f3. There's also knight e2 check. But yeah, just take here on f3 and there is no pin. You can just move your queen. Plus, very ugly pawn structure there. So c4 by Arjun, and d4 cannot be touched at all. So mostly we will look at Darwin Lelo going for either rook e8, defending this bishop, and then maybe threatening knight takes d4. But I really love then Arjun's position, because such a beautiful central pawns with d5 there, and this diagonal. Maybe, I'm not sure where you want to move the bishop, because bishop f4 was interesting. If you are somehow able to, if the queen moves, you would love to even exchange this bishop there. As important, one important thing I would like to show you, that if these bishops get exchanged, let's say the queen is not here, and if these bishops get exchanged and white knight comes to g5, then the king king could get in big danger if somehow these ideas can come together. The knight on g5, the queen on h4 can be an important pattern. So for black, it's very, very critical that he takes care to avoid getting into that mating pattern. So c4 by Arjun. Arjun is better. Vidit, after rook f1, he goes bishop f6 there. Okay, very much in control. And Hari has taken with the bishop. He's taken with the bishop. Knight goes to b5, but d6 is protected right now. And can Hari think of some interesting idea? Because he has this bishop on e5. Let me ask the chat. Can you see some interesting idea here for black? Okay, I think the candidate moves by the chat. Now, for people who are new, what are the candidate moves? They are basically the options, like when we have to start calculating in this position, then we start considering, oh, what are the possibilities? Then you see, oh, there is 94. Suppose, I mean, that is how you're considering. There is bishop h3, as people have suggested. Then there is rook f1. So you start firstly looking at what are the possibilities, and then you choose how you have to start calculating about it. So firstly, all those who said knight d4, the question is, how many of you are defending? 2 guys. And how many of you are attacking? 3 guys. So you're just losing a pawn there with knight d4, cd4, knight d4, cd4, bishop d4, bishop d4, queen d4. You are just giving up a pawn. So that's a blunder. Not possible, rejected. For people who are saying bishop h3, yes, it's definitely a possible move. Bishop h3, queen h3. But a good idea for white would be one full open file there, and bishop can go to h6, forcing the rook exchange, and the open file will be in white's control there. But this is very unclear, very unclear. So bishop h3, very possible move. And another idea which I was going to say to keep an eye for, maybe not in this position as such, but h5 is a very, very interesting idea, because you have h4, and because you have the bishop on e5, you could start real pressure there. So that is the main difference which has happened after fe5, bishop e5. You can see earlier it was a mirrored position, but now you can say that your bishop is slightly better than this bishop, which is a defender, and you might be exerting pressure there. And look at this, he's gone king g8. He goes king g8. He still has these ideas there, but maybe white will go bishop h6 right now. That's what I'm expecting. A lot of strategy incoming in Hari's game, and I'm very, very keen to see and learn how the pieces are going to dance in this position. Going to which game? I think we have to see women's game. Just let's look at Prag's game. Oh, lots has happened here. After bishop e3, rook b8, Prag castled, and Paolo played queen f5. He did not go for c5 ideas. He said, I will feel safer if we exchange the queens, because then maybe he loves his pieces on the queen side. So queen takes f5, e takes f5, Prag takes the queen. But look at this transition there. The pawn which was on e file, an isolated pawn, now captures on f5. No more an isolated pawn. The e file is fully opened, but in some way even the d pawn is going to move to d5 easily if required, or also in the case where black will think of c5 d5 would be a strong passer there. So b4 played by Pragg, firstly to defend this move. But what a move! What is happening for guys? Very quickly, who is alert? If c takes b3, massive blunder. If black goes for en passant, what is the spelling of en passant for all the newbies there? Are there any newbies who have just very recently learned the rules of chess? Abhibhav Kumar, very quick. Oh, P was the quickest one. That's cool. Chinmay, Adi, Nikunj, Neo, Shubhang, Ratnam, en passant, en Yes, and that's the whole problem there, because it was a pin. Interesting pin, because it was not a direct take, but it was an en passant, and you couldn't take on b3, and this is the way Pragg actually gets out of his backward pawn there. The b2 was a backward pawn once again. As we have learned, it doesn't have any pawns on the side. So it's the one who is supporting. So normally it's the weakness if it is on the open file. So b4, and look at this move. So what it does is also has a very strong hold on c5. The weakness is gone. Only thing is that this pawn on c4 is now a passer, but unfortunately it doesn't have anybody to support, to protect. It's like, हाँ यार तेरे में talent है, but you have no support. So that's how it is. Poof. So b4 by Pragg, and Paolo is thinking where to take the knight, because not much options there. Knight b3 and knight c6. But wherever he goes, if knight c6, you can attack the pawn on c4, and there is no way to defend because both the squares are covered. And if you go knight b3, because you at least stop rook c1, I think that is something Paolo will go for. But still, let's remember, there is a pin here. The pawn cannot move. The bishop needs to keep defending the c4 guy. And yeah, knight b3 happened on the board. Now Pragg is thinking what to do. Sid Vlog says, rule book issuing kabaddi. Yeah, that's always a sad situation, yeah, in such a case. So it's very hard. Oh, Rishank suggests knight d2, Shubi. Arey, Shubi. Also suggests knight d2. Shubi is the current national junior girls champion. So knight d2 is an interesting suggestion there. You want to attack the c4 pawn, and you're threatening to win there. In fact, right now you're threatening to win a piece because there's a pin. So knight takes d2 seems like a forced move there. Again, you cannot take with the bishop because your d4 pawn will be hanging, if I'm not wrong. Or am I missing something? Yeah, yes, your d4 pawn is for sure hanging. But if you play rook d2, then wow, your black has a very strong move. Can you find? Black has a strong move. Rima, I think Sagar had mentioned you to write on chessbaseindia@gmail.com, because it all depends a lot on where you're staying and what the level is. So it cannot be generalized. So here the question is, black has a very strong move, and can you find it? Oh, maybe the chat was stuck. Oops. Okay, I would think I was reading the old chat, iske liye. But Abhilash, Itachi, Vignesh, Shubi, Neo, P, Chinmay, Abdur. Absolutely right. This is your chance, that moment, because the pawn was pinned and now you're able to push it because you're attacking the rook there and you can exchange this bishop. So this would be like an opportunity. That's the reason knight d2 is a problem and you cannot go for knight d2. So in fact, the question will be in this position, which white has this advantage, but I would definitely say it's not a very simple position to play. What are your before I ask the question, what are your suggestions for Pragg? Pragg already makes a move. He goes knight e5 there. Knight e5. Quite a strong move found by Pragg. Now he is attacking c4. So as of now, he is threatening to win a pawn there. Plus, apart from that, there is a very, very strong threat by white. Simple one. Rook b1 was also asked as a question. I'll check that out. But what is white's main threat here? What is white's main threat? Yes. Adatya, P, Chinmay, Itachi, knight d7, fork. That's the main threat. You're winning an exchange there. So if, let's say, Paolo says, I don't like your knight here because it's a double attack, I want to take it away. So if you take and if you give up this bishop for the knight, d5 opens this file, gets you a beautiful passer if you get f4, and the pin stays on. The bishop is attacking a7 now after d5, which has been opened. And if you go f4, there is bishop a7. So f4 really isn't doing anything strong. And you don't mind going back and being exchanged with the knight as well, because you have one material there. So knight e5. That's the whole idea. The only thing, as black, if Paolo is alert, he needs to understand that he needs to find counterplay. Because if he doesn't find counterplay, then he is going to be in big trouble. He's losing material. So what should Paolo find here? And I would say that move is almost impossible, but let me still ask the chat if you guys are able to find or not. Based on that, we will decide whether Paolo is able to find or not. So black to play, what can be a very interesting idea to go for? Okay, and now we should try to understand why that is so interesting. Vaishak, Itachi, Pramila, Neo, P, Sneha Gupta, Aryan, Varhan, Rick, Skanda. Yes, very cool, very cool, very difficult to just, try to consider. Many times what happens is moves like c5, it's very subconsciously that we reject it. c5, अरे ये तो मर रहा है, it's just hanging. We were so aware, so we don't even start calculating. But c5 would be a very interesting idea, because firstly, you cannot take with this pawn, your knight is hanging. If you try to take with the b pawn, then still bishop takes e5 and takes, and after f4 you do not have bishop a7 anymore. If you go back, there is, I can take the knight and I can take the pawn with the knight. And if you go bishop d4, what essentially has happened is somewhere black is able to have his resources very, very active. So this is one possibility where black could try to gain some compensation if you take. But the question was, oh, aren't we winning an exchange? And of course you are winning an exchange. So how is black getting any compensation? That is the main question. And the reason is, after knight d7, here black has this c takes d4, winning the central pawn with the knight and bishop defending. And imagine if you try to win. Okay, the question is, Which rook will you take? B8 or F8? Which rook will you take? B8 or F8? Oh, Sakar says Harika and Savita won. Vantika winning, Vaishali equal position. So right now we are looking at 3.5, but Vaishali most likely, if she can trick her opponent, then it could be even 4-0. ओमकार चक्रधर C5 नाही खेळलो तर पावलो म्हणायचं. Okay. B8 F8. Guys, do you understand that you are being fooled? I fooled you. It doesn't need to be the month of April, of course. And if the right answer was none, that was the right answer. Because if you take the B8 rook takes B8, and look at these pawns here. Like, they are just completely devastating. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Bishop F4, rook D8. My pawn is coming to D3, C3, C2. I mean, it's just too powerful here. Extreme compensation for black. So that's not a good idea, whichever rook you take. And that's the reason. Firstly, you all were fooled. Many times लगता है कि यार there are only two options and you start thinking about them. But then when you ask yourself, when you keep asking yourself, are there any more options? Is there anything else? Am I missing something? You are bound to find something which is different. And that is knight f6 check. And the reason is you cannot let this guy survive here. Knight f6, g takes f6, or I mean, let's say you don't want a double pawn, you take with the rook. You do not want the d4 pawn to survive, and their material is not important. You need to take away that central pawn, which was very, very important. So it could go into this kind of a scenario, which is slight edge for white, but the big difference here is black gets out with finding this move c3 as a6 is defended, and this could be a great possibility for great drawing chances for Paolo. And c5 is such a powerful move. So what do you guys think? Do you think Paolo will find this move c5? Bankim says you gave only two options, so we choose. The bars have not updated. Okay, wait a second. Maybe I have to... Yeah. Oops. Bikiran says, very bad question. You should not set question papers. Yeah. Kapal says, I have joined right now. Okay. Good time. You're gonna be witnessing still the final moments of we announcing that yes, we have won the medal. Not yet, but I think that's a moment we all are waiting for. Okay, so after c5, I think a very strong move, and we will look at whether he will find it or not. Let's go to the other games as well. Going to women's games very quickly, as it was pointed out by Sakar. Harika has won her game, so 1-0 there. Savita has also won her game after the crazy attack. What was the last position? Oh no, maybe it was, yeah. No, what happened here? Rook f1 was played, blunder, queen h4. Ah, guys, a checkmate in one move has been threatened. Can you find it? In fact, queen e1 was played, which was a blunder, and after queen e1 she resigned because Okay, let's first stick here. Yes, Adi, Nikunj, Bikiran, Mamba, Varhan, Swapnodeep. Knight g3 is the checkmate threat because you have this bishop covering the square and there is a pin here, so you cannot take the knight. So queen h4 and queen e1 was played, but after queen e1, the d2 knight, it's just going to be lost. And if you play with this rook, you also lose the other knight. If you play with this rook, you also lose one of the exchange. So Savita wins. Nice finish there. Vantika is clearly winning here, dead winning. Queen d3 was her last move. She is 2 pawns up, and this attack right now, the problem is you cannot take on h5 because there is no pin, so you lose the rook. So she goes queen g4, but there is no real threat there, and yeah, just 2 pawns up for white. Going to Vaishali's game, okay, it's pretty unclear there in this position, but her last move was bishop b7, and if you look at the material, 6 pawns with Vaishali, 6 pawns with Soyum. The only reason visually it feels that if white has an extra pawn is because these two are doubled. That's the reason. And the queen sits on d5 right now, but usually the outpost you would like minor pieces. The queen, can it stay there? There is a strong threat. There is a threat with black, knight d4, trying to trap the queen. So knight c4 played by Soyun. She's attacking the queen, and where do you go? The queen is under attack. The queen will come back to c7. Okay, this one very, very unclear, I would say. Very unclear. In fact, I wouldn't say Vaishali is in danger, but she definitely needs to be a little careful. So mostly we are looking at 3.5, half for women's, and going towards a silver in women's. We are going towards a silver in women's. By the way, c5 has been found by Paolo. Oh my god, that is like unbelievable. So c5 was played. Prag goes b takes c5. He doesn't go for the material with knight d7. So b takes c5. And now Paolo makes a move, which is knight takes c5, and he changes the move order. If you remember, we were looking at bishop e5, d5, and f4. This is what we were looking at. What difference now happens with first knight c5, d takes c5, and bishop takes c5 is that black decides to keep the double bishop instead of the knight and the bishop. So that is the decision for black, which looks very natural. Yeah, you would like the double bishop to be on the board. But that's not a good choice. That's not a good choice because there are a number of ways white can get advantage here. He already has advantage, but maybe I should ask all of you, white to play. What are the good moves you can see here? White to play. Okay, let's see what our chats candidates. Many of you suggesting one move rook c1. Then c6 is suggested. f4 is also suggested. Oh, rook d7 is suggested by you guys as well. But majorly I see rook c1 and f4 being suggested. So rook c1, if you guys play, that's a blunder, or yeah, that's a blunder. In a way, very bad move. Very bad move. I think the same for rook d7 if I'm not wrong. If you go rook d7, but at least it's a better move in compared to rook c1. But rook c1 is a big mistake because yes, Vedika Pal f4. f4 comes very strongly attacking this bishop. The bishop doesn't have d4. You have to go back, and then comes in this rook, attacks this bishop. There is a pin there. So this can become, if you go rook fd1, then the final move where black will win material. Black to play here. Black to play. Ooh, okay. I mean, some of you are kind of missing it because the right move is c3. We'll look into that. But many of you want to go rook d8 and want to, attack this d2 guy more further. But the bishop can move away to e1, and you do not have time to take this bishop because there is check. So you do not have time, and if you first take here, I'm not going to take with the rook, but I'm going to take with the bishop, so I am able to defend myself. So very important here would be the right move is c3. Yes, many of you found it. c3 attacking this plus attacking this, so it's a double attack. If you take this bishop there, then you take this bishop, attack the rook, and where does the rook go? I mean, let's say if you go rook b1 or something like that, then takes, and rook comes to d8, and this is just completely crushing in opposite colored bishop for from black. So this will be very big trouble. That's the reason Pragg has to be careful. I mean, that's the reason bishop e5 was not a good idea. First, knight c5 was not a good idea. First, bishop e5 was important, but he goes knight c5, and now Pragg doesn't take the knight here. He first gives a check with the bishop c4, bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, and knight e4. So we have entered in this endgame position here in Pragg's game, where Pragg is a pawn up. It's a passer, it's a central pawn. He's better. A little bit of work he will have to definitely do there. But it's, I think, should be possible to convert. Winning right now, winning. Okay, so let's go to Vidit's position. What has happened there? We last left at queen f4, rook e1, bishop f6. Rook e3 was played. Vidit goes rook d8. Queen b4. Now he pins the knight, threatens queen c5. Queen goes back to c7. Rook goes back to e1. He doesn't want this back rank pin over there. Rook goes to d6. A nice way to get out of the pin and also to double the rooks. Bishop goes back to e2. Rook d8. Rook d6. Rook d6. And Vidit absolutely in control. In fact, such an easy position in comparison, yeah. Normally there is so much stress in the position, but this is completely a tension-free advantage there with this one extra pawn, the knight beautifully blocking the c4 pawn, the bishop on a very nice diagonal there, so the king in the center, so as soon as the queens get exchanged, this becomes even weaker. So with it winning, and it stays the same. For Arjun, after c4, bishop f6 was played, and he did go d5 here. He did go d5. Knight went to e7, and it was important that for Lelo Darwin, he had to jump to d4, trying to exchange this knight. But he went knight e7, and what happened was Arjun played a very nice move here. Guys, can you try to find the next move for Arjun? White to play. Wow, yes. Many of you have found it, and that is bishop a3. That's a nice move, but Giri also suggests g4, which would have been actually very interesting, very cool move, I would say. G4, nice idea. Basically, you are stopping the knight to come to f5. Remember, whenever your opponent is playing with these knights, you do try to take away the squares where it wants to go, and by doing that, the knight becomes powerless. So g4 is that sort of move. Bishop a3, most of you did find it, and bishop a3, a nice idea, pinning the knight, stopping knight f5 once again, rook e8, getting out of the pin, and over here, yes, Arjun could go g4, but then he decides to go rook b3. And what is his idea with rook b3? I mean, there could be a few. One could be, does he want to double on b file, attack the base of the pawn chain, because you see the b pawn cannot easily move, you would lose the a pawn. So that could be one option. The rook could swing to e3. So there are these two open files, and with the rook on b3, it's a lot of flexibility. Either you can double on the b file or on the e file. So rook b3 is a nice move, but let's not forget that these two guys, a support of each other, can black try to break the structure. So it would be important for Darwin Lelo to keep looking at these ideas with c6 or b5, even if it means giving up a pawn, but important to find counterplay. Otherwise his pieces are not very well placed. Yeah, one more thing, if black goes knight f5 here, then the problem is you can take, 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 and in the whole process there is a deflection happening, so rook b7 and you lose a pawn. So that would not be possible. Okay, so rook b3 in Arjun's game, and Arjun is better. Definitely he has good advantage, comfortable advantage, I would say. So let's go to Hari's game, because that was something very interesting going on. Rook f8, the rooks got exchanged on the f file, and the king is moving to e8. Is the king planning to support the queenside pawns? Bishop goes back to e3, and yes, Hari goes for h5. The idea which we were discussing, h4, and there you can see the bishop, slightly better than the g2 bishop. So bishop goes to f2, Hari goes queen e7, and bishop comes back to e3. White is like, what do I do here? What plan do I have? White is completely confused how to go about it, and Hari is slowly pushing. Now he's going to go to d7, and he is going to defend a d6 pawn with this bishop and the king, and he's going to free his queen. Wow, this is such an amazing play by Hari, bringing his king to e8 and going h5, and this is tremendous. This is what we were talking about. Let's look at the strategy, how he is going to improve, and it was not at all normal. It was a beautiful strategy. Blazing says India won Kabaddi, but respect to Fazal, an Irani player. Okay, I really don't know what's happened, but I'll check it out after this. Rima says gold in archery. Oh, also cricket. Nice. Alzen says 105 medals at least confirmed. Oh, also cricket. Okay, so bishop e3, and Hari is going to definitely keep pressing in this position slightly, and I think he will manage to outwit his opponent. Let's go to I think important was Praggnanandhaa's game over there, because knight e4. No, this had settled down. This had settled down. Prag is a pawn up, and he has this slight advantage. Yes, he still has to be alert, but it's not like Vidit kind of advantage where he's a pawn up and it's way too smooth sailing. Here he'll still need to be a little bit alert, because his bishop is slightly being right now a defender than the attacker. And I would like to show you, if white would have gone a move like d5, then this rook would jump in, attack this knight. This rook is on the open file. There are these weaknesses, so that way black could have some bit of composition, but it may not be enough if Prag keeps playing accurately. Okay, Going to Vaishali's game, after we just had a look at Praggnanandhaa's game, because that in women's is a very, what to say, critical not for the team per se, but for 4-0, whether it would be possible, we should have a look at it. Again, knight c4 was played. Vaishali goes back queen c7. And now this queen also goes back to d3. Now Vaishali finds a nice move here. It was a very important moment. Can you find black to play a very, very nice move, which was found by Vaishali? And guys, do not try to look at what happened in the game. Gold in Kabaddi. Okay. 107 medal confirmed, says Siddharth. क्या बात है? D5, bishop A7, A4, bishop A6, rook G7. बाप रे. So much variety of candidates move. And what is D5? मतलब guys, मर रहा है. E takes D5. कुछ भी दिख रहा है क्या? There's nothing I can see. So D5 is not working. I like that you consider it, but then you have to discard it. Rook G7, yeah, you wanted to attack this guy over here, but it can just move away. Knight can come to E3, and knight wants to go to D5. That's the idea. So that is the reason you stop your opponent's threat. So bishop A6 is a very good move, which was found by Vaishali, and it was extremely important to find. So bluff, Naina, programming, Umesh, Skanda. It was important to play this move. Otherwise, Vaishali would have actually got in trouble if this knight would be sitting on this beautiful outpost on D5. So here she stops it. It's a big pin there. आ जाओ. Orange है?
नहीं.
लाया. Orange है. So bishop A6 there, and Vaishali's position is still very.
So Yung Kang is playing really well, right?
Yeah, very well, I would say. So Vaishali has this, like, I think Vaishali will be able to convert, but if she will have to keep finding these best moves for a while, and then it's not easy to sustain. But B3, once again, a natural move defending this knight here, and now A4 would be very strong. A4 would be very, very strong. Okay, so Vaishali is. 2 games are over in women's. Sagar, Harika won, Savita won, Vantika is winning. What did they say? Knight D6. No, Knight D6.
I thought it's a check somehow.
You thought king is on C8. होता है, हो जाता है. Vantika here winning with 2 pawns up. Let's go to actually Prag's game. He's played G3. His opponent is still thinking. Prag is down to 24 minutes. Paolo down to 31 minutes. Going to Vidit's game, he is maintaining his advantage beautifully in the last 2 moves. After rook d6, rook d6, rook d1 was played, he went queen b6, challenging the queen exchange. Queen went back to a3, and now he goes knight e4.
f2 is hanging. Yeah, it seems like Vidit will convert this. I think he was better right from the opening, and he has let that advantage keep growing. And Gomez John Paul would not be happy with what he has achieved. Now, Amruta, Arjun is...
Arjun, what happened in the we last left at bishop a3, rook e8. Rook b3 was the place where we left, and b5. Yes, this was important, otherwise Darwin was kind of getting suffocated, so he had to do something, and b5 is a good idea there. I mean, not computer wise, but practically you have to do something. Queen a6, rook went to b6, but here he still had to continue with the pawn sacrifice. And it was important to play knight f5, challenging this rook here. And what do you do? Do you want to play rook b1?
So that if you take, this is hanging, but actually rook b1 is met with rook b6, attacking the queen, and then threatening this.
Right.
So actually, this was nice, but I think
So what
you
is
would
the
have.
difference when he played direct rook b6 is something to understand, because he did go rook b6, yeah, in the
He
game.
came back, and now if you go knight to f5, then now after take, queen takes, c takes b5
Or
or rook takes
c5,
b5.
everything looks very good.
Yeah, white is just winning here. So
So how
actually,
does it make a difference if I first go knight f5? Why is the computer saying I want to go knight f5?
so take, and now Amrita, I
Rook b5,
guess.
no? Am I not winning another pawn?
Yeah, let's ask the chat what is wrong here. And I think that is the key move, because the rook here is much more
Ooh.
useful than actually here.
And the hinter is back. Sagar, by the way, an update of Asian Games is we have won 107 medals.
Wow.
And
Except chess.
No, I think we are, yeah, maybe a good question. Have we considered chess in that at least?
Yes, rook a8.
Shubhi Gupta, Sid, Ashwin, Nikunj. And then you lose the a3 bishop, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's why you can't play even cb5 or rook b5. You can't win the pawn on b5, basically, over here. Oh no, cb5 you can take, right? Wait.
But Amrita, cb5 still rook.
Wow, 1 second. I mean, what I am fascinated with, that black is finding these ideas of getting compensation
Yeah.
with the piece activity.
I think just the queen on a6 is just worse than queen on a5, because here, if you think about this position, the queen could come back to d2. So in the same line, let's imagine that with the queen has been pushed back to a5, and now you play here and take and take and here and queen e2, then already queen d2 and white is winning. So
So this was important to understand, but what happened was Darwin went for rook b6.
yeah, Darwin
and
playing rook b6 was a.
Suddenly Arjun is just completely winning.
And now b takes c4, and Arjun can take this cb and go a very nice move here, very important move, Amrita, to keep an eye on this rook here on e8, so that the knight does not move, and I threaten here because there is a pin, so you can't take on this, and eventually white will be able to use the d pawn.
Okay, so Arjun is also winning. Vidit is winning. Right now we are already eyeing 2-0. Hari is playing a beautiful strategic game, Sagar.
So let's have a look at
Yeah.
Hari's game, because we saw.
No, I saw.
You saw
everything.
ahead.
But I'll just show you here. It was important that after fe5 here takes. This moment he had a choice with what to take, and I really loved Hari's decision of taking with the bishop here. Where his suddenly what happened in the symmetrical position, this bishop was now more active than this bishop, plus this isolated pawn blocked this bishop's activity, and Hari was like, yeah, I'm not worried about defending d6 there. So here king g8 was also very cool, where he just exchanged the rooks, and now he goes king e8, and look at his planning here. h5, another cool move, because it's already starting to exert pressure here, and bishop f2, queen e7, and king d7 just defended this, freed his queen, and doesn't it
Harmony.
Yeah,
Kya baat hai? Very nice.
beautiful play, beautiful. And I don't think it was all easy, to think of the king being the guy to say that I will guard you, and my queen, please be free.
It's like the pawn on d6 is a little kid, and the king has now taken the job of work from home, so that the queen can go and get outside and do something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Also, a very bad piece is bishop on g2. I think that really spoils White's position. Imagine the bishop was somewhere here, would have been quite good. So this one, Amruta, looking very good for Hari. And we just had Praggnanandhaa is maybe not. Do you think he has enough edge to fight for the full point?
I think so because it could have been. I would ask you one question, Sagar. Okay, very important question. Here, okay, you can look here now. Here, Prag went knight e5, threatening knight d7 and knight c4. And here, Paolo found a very good move, which was important move. Otherwise, he was in big trouble. Just quickly, what comes to your mind on the first note?
Mm.
And also the people who have missed this, maybe you can try to think.
I don't know, maybe c5.
Exactly, and this was such a beautiful move because the whole point was you cannot take with this is hanging. Prag took with this pawn, and we'll get there. But if you try to win one of the rook here, then CD is so powerful that you actually cannot take the rook. You will have to take the bishop, but then there is rook f6, there is gf6, and in general this you kind of get out of those issues there. But what happened was after c5, b takes c5, here again an important decision was to be made where Paolo went for knight c5 move order, okay, and he decides to keep the double bishop. But important was to take this knight with the bishop, and after takes you still don't want the material immediately back, but you want to make white's pieces a little bit more like defensive there. So this was not easy because you are attacking this and now you're going to win the pawn. So this would have been a little bit of a, in a way, trouble if Prag wanted to win. Not enough advantage. So here I would say that
Actually,
this is a decent advantage.
Prag could have even taken d takes c5, right? And this was also looking very, very.
f4, yeah. Here maybe f4 is possible, rook d5 is possible.
Yeah, I mean, just this pawn is
c6,
so much
yeah.
better, and this bishop is kind of blocked by its own pawn. So even though the material is equal, white is slightly better here. But instead, Prag, instead of taking here, he went bishop takes pawn.
Yeah.
Bishop takes bishop, knight takes. So now he's pawn up. But black, somehow you can say that this pawn is slightly weak.
It is weak, and suddenly the b and the c files, black's rooks are very, very active.
Yes.
That's why it is good advantage to Prag. And I think if Prag keeps finding the best moves, he should be able to convert it.
Yes. I really liked Prag's. I think Prag was inspired by Nihal Sarin at this point when he went g3. Because then after rook c1, here you might think, oh my god, pressure somehow, this, what to do, should I bring my rook into the game? But Prag just played king g2. Very calmly,
He's
coolly.
like, kind of pressure.
Yeah, just
Okay, all good.
all good. He's saying that I'm just playing calmly, getting my king up. Maybe later on I will get my rook out. Who knows if the king could be a good piece on f3, but
Yeah.
okay, right now not.
Wow. Maggie says, please someone give me quick update on chessmen and women. Chessmen and women are very, very nice guys. They're very simple and...
Maggie wants a quick update. It makes sense actually your name Maggie because
2
generally
minutes.
everything
2
is
minutes
quick.
में बता देते हैं. By the way, Harikrishna Mishra super chats. What are the chances of gold in both category?
I think very unlikely because already Chinese women have won 4-0. So that's done actually. There, India has India is not going to win the gold because China has taken the gold in women. But in men, we still have a technical chance because you see Maksudlu is pressing here. So he should be able to win this position after knight f5 with pressure here, defending the rook. Um,
So basically, if Iran would have drawn, only then we had the chances. Like that is 2-2. But
Yeah.
if Iran right now already has won
one game. Taba
and now
sorry, Idani has won.
and out of 3, they need only 1 point to win the gold
One
medal.
and a half.
1.5. Right. 1.5.
Taba is better. Maqsoodlu is better, and also this guy Hongjin is better. Hello? Huh?
Yeah. So Bardia is also better. So that's why as of now, Iran's score is technically based on the current scenario. It's like here they will get another point, here they will get another point, and Maqsoodlu, even if nothing, oh no, in fact, is winning. In fact, they could very possibly win by 4-0, which is even if they mess up, it would be like 3-0. So very difficult, impossible, yeah, almost. Just that until it's over, it's not over. Okay, by the way, going to Vaishali's game, because I think after bishop a6, the move she had, a nice move she had found, b3 was played, and here Vaishali goes knight a7. Okay, this is a very interesting maneuver. In fact, knight b5 looks so powerful with the idea of knight a3 check and winning the pawn here. So I'm wondering why does the computer not like it, but doesn't matter, yeah? No, the reason is that it's very difficult to find a move like queen e3. Like you want to move your queen away from the pin, but by doing so, the question does come to the mind that what happens if black takes this pawn? What happens after queen c4? Queen c4. What would be the best idea for white over here? White to play. What should white play over here? Yes. Yogaraj, Akshit, Dhairya, Naina, Abdur, Digitalogy, Rishang. Queen b6, and the queen enters in the space which has been created behind these pawns there and is going to win the a5 pawn. And that is why you actually very tactical that you cannot take the pawn on c4, and it's an important it was very important for white to realize this, that he needed to move the queen away, but bishop f3 has been played, and now Vaishali is thinking, but this is nowhere any clear because the amount of ups and downs which can happen are quite possible there. So we should keep a look at this. Okay, going back to Prag's game after king g2, Paolo is still thinking. He's down to, by the way, looking at the time, because we completely forgot about that, Paolo has 21 minutes. Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa has 20 minutes. Vidit, has he won after queen b6? We are all waiting. Maybe this would be the first result in the men's section. Queen a3, knight a4, rook f1. White tries to save the f2 pawn, and Vidit starts with h5. It's like baki sab to all okay here. कुछ अलग करता हूँ जिंदगी में. So h5, g3.
कुछ अलग करता हूँ जिंदगी में.
हाँ ना, विदित ने ऐसे बोला.
Really? What अलग did he do?
उसको फोन करो, वो तो तुम्हारा खास दोस्त है. So then now look at this, g5.
Whoa.
Vidit sometimes you do get a sense of Black Lotus, right, from his games.
Really?
91.
Did you get a feeling of Black Lotus?
Yeah, this one H5 and G5 is like Black Lotus. I know it's completely paradoxical because it feels like अरे ये तो पूरा अटैक चल रहा है भाई, ऐसा फीलिंग आता है ना, but it's like no, all these are settled and calm, and this is like Shanti, Shanti.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guys, Amruta really helping Black Lotus there. But okay, Amruta, the thing is, Queen C5 might be a good idea, no? To trade off few pieces.
Hey,
Just
then all it will keep going on and on for a while more.
also
He
you
wants
might
to
lose
finish
this
it.
pawn.
He
Yeah.
wants to finish it.
So maybe BD4 then. Let's go.
No, maybe just why not to keep advancing at G4, H4.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but I'm a little bit irritated by this pin.
Ignore. It's like those bad comments
No,
or
because-
negative things.
because-
Ignore.
If bishop f3 comes and then pawn, if the knight
Oh,
moves,
that is the idea of 91. अगर ignore करते
well, we can ignore certain things, but
G4.
not everything.
G4.
G4.
Ha, ignore. We can ignore.
I like
if you
this
find
move.
a right way
I
to
like.
ignore, you can ignore.
You are ignoring, but not ignoring. Nice. Good. Okay.
कोणीतरी म्हणत होतं मराठीत बोला. ठीक आहे, मराठीत बोलतो.
Yes. By the way,
ओ अर्जुनचा
Amruta.
गेम कुठे पोचलाय यार.
Okay.
ओके, फक्त तो पोहना हे सगळ्यात मुश्किल असं आहे की बापरे, सागर बरोबर राहून मराठीचा सत्यानाश झालेला आहे. एनिवे, कमिंग बॅक टू इंग्लिश.
Amruta, I was wondering if Arjun goes and jumps with his knight here in the center of the board.
Yeah, knight is going to jump. Yeah.
Then there is no way to. I was wondering if there's some check, king goes up, and then bishop would pin the knight, but there's no check here because the queen is controlling it. So black has no way to create counterplay.
हाँ, it's like queen is defending A2. वहां पे भी नहीं, D ऐसा भी नहीं लगता है कि anything is loose in the
Yeah.
position.
And
I mean
also-
this knight for now, but again no check there. So you are right.
Also, queen c8 check, king h7, and knight f7 is hanging.
True. It's like those two little kids in the summer holidays. One of them is trying to knock the door of his friend किधर तो, but bell बंद है. And then he wants to reach somehow. He wants to call, अरे सागर, come on, चलो खेलते हैं बैडमिंटन, क्रिकेट. But वो दोस्त सोया है, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है. Senseless.
Very nice. Amruta, but I like the story a lot. Just apart from the chess position, the story was very cool. कि भाई डोर पे बेल बजा रहे हैं वगैरह, like what is going to happen next, but what was the relation to chess?
Senseless हो गया. You know, you make blunders sometimes in your stories. It does happen, Sagar.
People are saying what is the chance of gold? I think this is the major question, Amruta.
The gold question.
It's the golden question whether India will win gold or not. But I feel that we should. We have to stop that question because Iran has won. Iran has won 3 games,
Okay.
which means that it is done, guys. Iran has won the gold medal at the Asian Teams Championship, and India has to win today in order to get the silver medal.
So, very important question is what is up with Uzbekistan? Because I think that is our very next competitor, right? Like,
Yes.
in that sense.
So in a way,
for us.
if we want to already claim silver, then Uzbekistan, if they are winning, then we cannot. So let's just have a look.
Correct.
Uzbekistan right now, Nodirbek slightly worse against Lauro Virapaprin. Then we have
Or maybe unclear, yeah, almost towards
unclear. Yes, Sindaro slightly better against Thanadon.
Yeah.
Yakuboyev won, And
he
we
won.
have Jakongir
He's also
better.
winning. So Uzbekistan is actually winning the match.
Yes, so
Matlab,
India has to
Uzbekistan
win.
for sure reaching 14. India must win
India
for
must win,
silver.
but I think India will win, Amruta, because if you look at Arjun, he's almost close to a decisive advantage against Lilo Darwin.
Okay.
And then you see Vidit, he's
Yeah, he's winning since
I-
ages.
he has-
Ancient.
and such a
Millions of years
game
ago.
really helps the team because since like 1 hour into play, you know that the team is going to get 1 point.
Right.
Vidit will not watch up such a position, so it keeps on building the confidence of the team.
Wow. True. Very true.
And
So Vidit is winning. There. Let's count 1 point. Arjun is winning. Let's count 1 point over here. This would you say like clearly winning, like dead winning, or how would you put it as?
yes, this is I would say clearly better because he has found this move. And Amruta, if you are not very careful, I will just slide in the move d6 and capture this pawn on f7. And if you play bishop d6, which is a nice move, then check king h7, and now comes boom bam boom, take here, and it feels like there is some kind of a mate somewhere.
I mean, if you just had this one option,
One check from here, here, here.
yeah, it's a checkmate in one move. But queen h8 is the threat. You don't want to even take the d6, right? That's the threat.
Yeah, this is a mate, and the bishop is also attacked. So, chess is a very concrete game. You might feel, many times we feel, oh, check will come, I will be scared. But guys, don't be scared of ghosts. Be scared of real threats. There is no threat here. The queen defends it. So this is completely winning. And I think,
Ghost is not a real threat.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, ghost is not real, Amrita.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed?
95.
Amrita is like, change the topic, change the topic. I want to sleep at night. Okay. Bishop e3 played. So, Amruta,
Yeah.
now I think today's game, would you say Harikrishna has really played very interesting chess, or what would you?
Oh, Harikrishna, I think strategically there is a lot to learn from this game. It's beautiful.
I have one small point
great.
to make.
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh,
ऊपर
yes.
कुछ है?
No, I was just thinking, how should I think about it? So,
So
knight
what's the
d4,
Hmm.
you take,
Hmm.
I take,
Hmm.
you take, I take, you take, I take. Okay. Now we have reached this position. It seems like still a little equal. I think I have a threat, which is to go bishop g4 to d1 and attack here. So maybe he tries to stop me with king f1. Okay. Now I go king c6. Now my threat is to go king c5, king b4 and win these pawns. So he goes e5, gives me a check. I go king c5 still, no problem. You take here, I take back. Again, my king is very close to coming here. So you want to maybe come up. Then I come.
Or you want to go bishop f5?
Bishop f5 might be good, right?
Yeah.
Bishop f5. And this is a winning endgame, I feel like. King d2, king c5.
Yeah. But aren't you complicating? Because, I mean, this endgame would be like the last option you would go for.
Yes.
Unless you have something better.
That's what Harikrishna also thought. And he didn't do it. But I think, Amruta, sometimes
Yeah.
it can be the most easy solution. But when you have a nice position, you don't want to go for concrete stuff like this. Because sometimes, like how it happened to Gokesh yesterday, it might end in a draw somewhere in some line. So that's why Hari keeps the pieces on.
Adarsh Gupta says, I currently live in Germany and one of my German friend loves Sagar's commentary a lot. We were literally discussing that yesterday in the chess club. Keep up the good work, guys. Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
nice.
That's very kind of you. But Amruta, now it so happens that India wins what? Oh, Vidit went in here, Amruta, queen b2. Queen, and he's kind of forcing the
Okay.
trade of queens because he's attacking here and here. And if you take here, then I take here.
And then rook d2, bishop d4 incoming.
Yes. And if you play, what else can you
I
play?
think Vidit would be there playing and also watching all cricket and kabaddi and all other people.
इतना भी नहीं विनिंग है भाई कि वो उधर जाके कबड्डी देख के आ रहा है.
No, क्या?
Pan Paraboy says, why? Very important question by Pan Paraboy, Amruta. Why no gold for India when we have Praggnanandhaa in team? Sir, this very interesting question actually. He could have actually asked about anyone, like why no gold if Gukesh in the team, or why no gold if Vidit in the team, but he said Praggnanandhaa. What is your answer?
No, you took the question, so you should answer it.
No, generally, like any player, now if I have to answer this, very important, I think, for all the people who have, started following chess recently to understand that in a team tournament, it is never dependent upon one player, nor is it true that one player can perform well all the time. For example, it's very easy to say that Magnus Carlsen is representing Offerspiel in European Club Cup, but it is quite possible that his team will not win the championship and some other team will win.
Yeah, I mean, until now the question is why in Olympiad Norway is not winning gold. Magnus Carlsen is there. It's
team tournaments are never one player event, and also even if you have a very strong team like we had here with Gukesh, Vidit, Arjun,
no, but even come on,
Hari.
GCL, it was Magnus and Prag and Gukesh and
it's never easy because I think in team everyone has to perform, and I think Iran did that really well here.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like if we look at Iranian players, how they did, Maqsoodlu was just phenomenal. In such a tournament, when you play on board number 1, with a rating of 2700 plus, he was the second highest rated player on board 1 after Gukesh, I believe.
Yeah.
Or Wei, a third highest player. He actually managed to gain 15 ELO points.
Whoa.
15 ELO points with a score of, I think he has had only 3 draws, 7.5 out of 9.
That's huge, huh?
Which is huge. He didn't even take rest for a single game. Meanwhile, for Gukesh, this tournament proved to be tougher in general. He lost 6 ELO points and he played 8 games, and he lost 1 game, 4 draws. So he scored 5 out of 8. And now he is still Amruta world number 8. But actually, he's still India number 1 because at some point Vishy Anand had gone ahead of him, but Anand has had 4 draws now in this tournament at European Club Cup. So he is now down to 2,748. And yesterday, I want to ask our viewers if they are following chess or not. Anand drew against an Indian youngster. Who was it?
Vimal Kumar says, I, 27 years old, I'm getting interested in chess lately, especially since last few months. I don't have anyone to play with. I also know the basic rules only. Where can I start?
Where do you live, Vimal Kumar? That is a good question. And maybe there could be some people around you, who can play with you.
Sadhwani, Raunak.
Raunak Sadhwani, and guys, it ended in a draw. It was an epic game yesterday that was played. Okay, if I was Praggnanandhaa here, what would I do, Amruta? If I was Praggnanandhaa,
maybe you would go and watch Vaishali's games right now.
Oh, that's a good. If you were Praggnanandhaa, nice question. No, in school it used to come, right? Such questions. If you were XYZ, what would you do?
If you were the prime minister, and if you were,
right. If you were the education minister, what would you do?
Yeah.
So if I were Praggnanandhaa, I would very much be keen on pushing my pawn forward. But somehow it feels like when you push forward, the knight and the bishop का मिलन हो जाएगा, and the knight will jump here. So, these two pieces will come together, boom, attack, attack. So that's the reason why it feels like right now is not the time to push. When it's not the time to push, the other active moves come to mind is moving the knight. But the moment you move the knight, you lose the pawn.
So this knight you are saying tied down to a3. The pawn in a way on d4 tied down to defense of c3 square. Bishop on e3 tied down for a defense of d4 square. Rook on d1 tied down for a defense of d4 square. Rook on c1 can be free. That's the only piece which can be free.
And
in some
actually,
way.
if it goes somewhere else, then I attack this.
C3 is also kind of, yeah.
So
in a way, Prag's quality of pieces is not the best, but because black doesn't have any plan where if Prag does nothing, black can still, do something. It's all depends on if Prag goes wrong.
But I think he'll play rook c2.
Is he ready rook b2?
I don't know what my idea is.
Or
maybe
king f3. Why not king f3? Sagar, could you go king f3 with that?
Maybe take here with a pin or
Ooh.
even rook d4 perhaps better.
No. I missed the pin completely.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
but after rook c2, what if I go king if I go king g6, let's say?
I completely agree with you. This is not at all easy for Prag to convert. He is going to have a tough time. But if there's one thing that Praggnanandhaa excels in, it is to play very, very slow, patiently. He has all the patience in the world. And this tournament has worked out very well for Prag. He has played 8 rounds, including this one today. And he has scored 3 draws. So he has scored 6.5 if he wins today. And he would have gained a total rating of roughly around 8 elo points.
Today, how much will you?
1.5 points or something. So he will make it to 2746.
Roughly.
2746, which means he will go to world number 13, just below Anand. So which could also mean that if Vichy does not win a game soon at European Club Cup, he might come down below Praggnanandhaa because he would be 2748, Praggnanandhaa 2746. So then we will have Gukesh, Prag and Vichy. And then Gukesh and Prag are going to Qatar. Gukesh and Prag are also playing Isle of Man, Grand Swiss. So they will have a lot of events to gain rating as well as lose rating. So
True.
I would say gain rating more likely, guys. But let's see. Okay. So right now,
Nandish as Sagar, can you tell us how will Prag prepare for candidates and how preparation for candidates different from other tournaments?
I think generally what the youngsters do is this is a very normal thing I've seen, that they have one person who is like the core member of their team, and I think RB Ramesh is that person for Prag, who has been with him for years. So he will of course be there with him. This rook got trapped, Amruta, by all its pieces.
Self-goal.
So now with it, I think his opponent might resign this game.
Yeah.
But also he might just play on because it's team event. Then they would, I think generally for such an important event, have a team of seconds. I don't know who they would be because you have to find some youngsters, some strong players and so on. But also it might be a very good idea to have someone in the team who has played candidates before, or someone who has that experience. It could be someone like Vichy, it could be someone like Kramnik, it could be someone who has had that experience, and I don't know who Prag will. So it will be a team of workers, it will be a team of directors, like those who will young 2500 players who will work, analyze and so on. There will be direction givers who will mainly like tell Prag, check in this direction, these are good lines to play in the candidates against this player, try this opening and so on. So I think that's how he will build a team of 4 or 5 players, and that's how his preparation will work. That's generally how they do it. But we saw at World Championship where Ding was playing, against against Nepo, that he had a very small team of seconds, just 2 seconds. One was Rapport, other was Jakhongir Wakhidov. So you never know.
Oh, by the way, Padma says Vantika won her game.
Oh, India has won the silver, guys, in women.
If Vantika.
Confirmed.
Acha.
Because 3 people won.
Yes.
Harika, Vantika, and Savita Shri.
Awesome. So now, actually, Vaishali's result does not affect anything. Yeah,
No.
medal or anything.
No.
Only match points also not, but only game points, max to max. But it doesn't matter. So India women's team wins silver.
Yes.
Cool.
India's
India OP हो जाए एक बार chat में. Should we write over there? Should we pin something so that people will know that
okay.
India wins? India women's teams. Vaishali is also winning. Oh. But looking at Kazakh, Vietnam, I mean, there were strong teams, so I would still say that it was important, yeah. Like women's team, winning silver was.
No, I think
good.
women have played to their potential, perhaps,
Yeah.
because China was just too strong.
Yeah.
Okay, Chinese fourth board Zai Mo was not that strong. She was 2300 rated, but if you see the top three boards, Ho Yifan, Tan Zhongyi, Zhu Jiner, that's a very strong team. They could have played even in men and given a tough fight, you know. Then that's how strong. I mean that's true for also our women players. But this is I think Indian women winning silver is a big thing in Asian Games, because last year we did not win. Last time when chess was part of Asian Games, we won only one medal. That was Harika winning bronze in individual. This time we did not win any medal in the individual, but we are going to win 2 medals. So that is
good. And one silver is confirmed actually. So by the way, Aniruddha says 106 medals done. India's men's chess team to decide the color of the 107th medal. So
silver.
Just for a final quick look at Vaishali's game, what's happening? Vaishali is now better, yes. The king does look quite weak there, so mostly 4-0 we are going for. And here for Vidit, knight d2, this is trapped. Going to Prag's game, because I think it's very important to see how he is able to convert. h4, he played h4, h5, and now
we were thinking about rook c2.
Yes.
He went rook a1.
So actually he is now freed his knight in a way that's free. Going to Arjun's game, he was winning, and how he is also converting is something to see. Knight e5, queen went back to d6, he gave a check, bishop f8, because let me ask the chat, if no, that's not happening because the queen is defended. Otherwise normally the idea is take, but here the queen is defended. But nevertheless, find a good move for... No, that is so easy.
Yeah, it's very easy.
You just take it.
Right.
Oops, sorry. So queen c8, bishop f8 played, and now Arjun went knight d7, and he's going to go in. You can't go into king pawn endgame yet. I mean, no need, because it's a pin and you can't really get out of it.
But
yeah, because I think you will lose this. King is too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas the king 1, 2, so you will lose the pawn. Yeah, this is good.
He's now
improving.
Actually, I was thinking, Amruta, if we could do king f1 here.
Should we? Okay, no?
It's not. Wow.
Oh wait, let's ask the chat.
Because my idea is just for our viewers, like if b4, I want to take, now go into this endgame and play king e2, king e7, king d3, king d6, king c4, and then win this pawn and queen this pawn. So it's a very straightforward way to win.
But let's ask the good move for black, a very important move for black if they can find after king f1.
Yeah, king f1 is a blunder, and actually it's not so easy to spot it.
Yeah. Actually, Dhruvesh Dondapati has been very, very quick in finding the move from black side. Well done, Dhruvesh.
But it's very interesting to note that in such a position, this is a mate and the knight is hanging, and you can't save both.
Yeah, double attack. You see, double attack is not necessarily the direct pieces, but it's also on the squares. That's another level of advanced double attack.
Okay, and I
For the
have
chat.
to also here g5 has been played. So
Don't leave.
Amruta, now
Hmm.
he will go king f1.
Hmm.
The same thing now, queen d5 takes king here. Now there's no mate because there's king, so
Oh.
he'll come back and then maybe
Peace
that's
up.
how he will play. Um, I think Amruta, definitely one thing that has to be mentioned here.
Aren't you going into a king pawn endgame?
When
Winning king pawn endgame? Takes, knight takes.
oh, you
King
came from
G2,
that
king
side.
E7, king is.
Pichu se aaye.
Yeah.
Because here you are taking 1, 2, 3, 4, but from here,
So the question is, do you want to be a piece up or do you want to go into a king pawn endgame?
but
What
this
would
is
you
nice,
choose?
no? I would go king pawn again.
King pawn endgame. But उधर
course
सिर्फ
he
एक
will take.
pawn है तुम्हारे पास.
That is good enough.
वो queen बन रही है.
Yeah, I was saying this thing that Indian National Chess Federation, which is All India Chess Federation, have done a great job, I would say, because they managed to put together the best team in both men and women. And generally, for such events, it's never easy to bring forth the best players of a country, as we can see in many of the countries right now. Like, for example, China, they were not able to get Ding or Yu Yangyi to play, and so on. And also in maybe some other countries, that always happens. But in India, at least for some time now, all the top players are playing the official events like Olympiad, Asian
Yeah.
Games, and which is because in such tournaments there is no prize money at for the players. It's always the
Yeah.
pride of the country at stake, and maybe there could be some awards, of course, if you win the medals, which is never announced beforehand, I think.
Right, only
Or,
if you
or
win the
maybe
medal.
correct me if I'm wrong.
But maybe for Asian.
I don't think that there is a already announced prize that, oh, if the team wins a gold, then this is what they win or something. So yeah, Jenna got 1.5 crores. Woo!
Baapre, that's.
He finished. He got silver. No,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
But then if we imagining 108 people, 107 people getting 100 lakh each.
Sorry,
107 getting 100 lakh each.
100 lakh is 1 crore. You're saying 1 crore, 107 crores. No, but 107 medals. There, some are gold, some are silver, some are bronze. Not everyone can
Yeah,
get
but
this.
silver got. That's why I consider 100 because he got 1.5 for silver.
Ha,
So I just
but I
can't-
think he's from Odisha, and maybe the Odisha government.
Got it.
It could be that state governments are,
Yeah. Yes, says government of India gives some compensation. Oh, but agnostic says because he also qualified for Paris Olympics.
Yeah, it's not. It will
Because
be
he
interesting to
qualified
see.
for Olympics.
Amruta,
Actually.
the thing is, all these things really are very important in some ways.
Yeah.
What will happen if, whether he goes rook b5, Prag comes back, maybe he will come back. That if the players win a medal, what happens next? Because yes, it's the Asian Games, yes, it's the pride of the country, and they did well and so on. Will there be some awards or something that would motivate the players?
In the team, everybody will be from different state. Like for example, Gaurav says Haryana has decided 3 crore for gold, 1.5 crore for silver, and 75 lakh for bronze.
Nice. And also in chess, it could happen that, now that they have won Asian Games, then Tamil Nadu government has always been very supportive. So they might say, okay, we'll give awards to maybe Prag, Gukesh, Savita, Vaishali, But then suddenly,
Oh,
there is
yeah.
also other players like
Yeah,
Vidit,
because
Hari,
individual is.
Arjun,
Hmm.
Hampi, Harika, Vantika, and yeah,
No, it should be equal, no? At the end of it, if it is a team event,
yeah.
it should be equal. It's important that way.
So Saravana Kumar says Government of India gives particular amount of money for all medalists in Asian Games. So yes, we will keep a track of that because would love to know what is it, because sometimes it motivates the top players to take part. That amount. Like for example, today ECC was a very good event where, let's say, if Gukesh would have played, he would
Yeah.
be playing on top board and he would have got to play against Magnus and so on. Of course, you would like to play for India, but if that amount is known beforehand, it's an added motivation sometimes.
More than also the amount, it's exactly these things, yeah. Like you said, being in, let's say, sometimes you're in Magnus's team, sometimes you're in Vishy's team. All these questions are also there for deciding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these players are for now. It's a great thing that they're playing for their country, and I think rather than whether we win gold or we've not won gold, but it's an important thing that they've played for our country. That
Yes.
is definitely something
Yeah, we'll
to
wait.
be
We'll
proud of.
wait when today. I think we'll now one game has already completed. Amruta Arjun has won.
Oh, Arjun ended. What did he play? Queen F8 or did he
Yeah,
win the
he,
piece
he
at
took
the
on
end?
F8. F8
Yeah,
takes King G2.
King Pawn endgame is always something uh, easier.
Arjun, although he played very topsy turvy in this tournament, like many games were flowing here and there, he has ended with a quite a decent
Yeah,
score, no?
In fact, important. What happened to his rating?
He lost 5 elo
Oh, he
points
still
because
lost.
he drew with 3 players, but he won 3, so he
No, but
is 4 and
majorly
away.
drew with 20 to 100. Otherwise, he may not have. That was the key game where he lost those 4.5 points.
Yeah, but I think his biggest contribution came when he beat Tran to 1 mean against
Vietnam.
Vietnam. That was a big win there. I think Prag is definitely struggling right now to find a win against Barsam.
He played Rook B3 again.
Yeah.
By the way, Rohan Kumar says Odisha government promotes sports with amount for training and coaching, and after medals also give big. Yeah, that is also very good about them. VD1. Okay, that game which has been going on. Did he really? No, it's on. No, wait. What happened? I think after knight d2, knight d3, Vidit wins the exchange, gives a check, and now just wants to exchange the queens there. Has his opponent resigned? Alright. Yeah. So queen d4, and I don't think the result is yet there. He's thinking, so it's going on, but yeah, he's clearly winning. Hari, how did he make progress after bishop g4? He had played bishop f2, knight went to d4, queen h6. Oh, you have to take what? You need a listen?
No, I need my wallet.
Okay, 1 second.
Not money. I need a ID proof. Okay, guys, this some good news for me. I got my passport, which means that I now have UK visa, so I can go to Isle of Man for the Grand Swiss tournament, where perhaps India gets one more candidate in the event. Oh, by the way, some tactical stuff happened, Amruta, in the game of
Yeah, I
Harikrishna.
was just sorry looking at it, but
He went here
yeah,
and knight b3, and then he went
I
here
have to guess. Where?
and knight c2, because if queen moves, this is hanging.
You know, the only thing which I was a little bit looking at is here after here when the queen was on h6, the idea with check and king c6 is something to avoid for the mate. That's the only thing.
But then you can always block, right? Queen g7. So
Yeah.
that is, I think, what was Hari's intention. So he went back, and now knight attacks the queen, and takes, check here, and now bishop d1. He's snatching this. So Hari is going to end this with a win.
Yeah, all the pawns super weak. So only I think Vidit won, Arjun won, Hari clearly winning. Now Praggnanandhaa. If Praggnanandhaa wins, we win by 4-0, which Philippines yesterday with Iran, actually they had how much?
3-1.
3-1. But it was almost going for 2-2 in a way.
Yes.
So it would be a good result. Okay. Once Hari's game is finished, maybe we can say that India has won silver, right? Once it is absolutely over.
Yes.
Yeah, not until then. Okay, let's look at Prag's game. Oh, Hari won. Wow. That means India in men's have also won the silver medal. India OP ho jaye.
So guys,
that is cool.
Indian women and men, both.
India wins silver in both.
Women.
So in fact, there was a great, if Iran would have drawn, then literally we would have actually we would have got gold.
Yes.
Because our tiebreaker would be way ahead of.
Actually, the main issue was that, I mean, we were pursuing Iran for a long time in this tournament. Once they overtook us, we got that one chance against them, which was missed. But then after that, we were still right on their toes, I mean, right on their heels. But then in the end, it turned out that Iran were just too resourceful in this tournament. They never gave up. And by the way, Praggnanandhaa now, just look at what he does. So firstly, his opponent's rook comes back, and Prag was thinking now, okay, I have already moved back and forth. Let me push my pawn. That allows me to free my knight. So he goes up, attacks the knight and the pawn. He pushes his pawn further. Now the rook goes back, and now the knight jumps into e5. Very powerful move by Prag, because Barsamina now has two options. One is to take this pawn directly, but then there is a big fork there. The other is to take here, and then decide to take which pawn, but before that the rook is hanging. So he would have to take the rook. So if we can visualize this position, take, and take. Now he has to decide to take this or this. Which one would you take? Because I feel, Amruta, if you take this pawn, then Prag will go bishop here, and his idea is check and rook a8 and take this pawn. Okay. The other thing is, if you were to take rook a5 in this position, then Prag would most likely play his rook to d7 or maybe bishop to f4, some move defending this, because this is a very creative way to defend the pawn. So after you take, what's the move here? White to play, guys.
Maybe we remove the Iran.
Iran also won 2-0, Amruta. 4-0, sorry.
Yeah. No, Iran really played well. Checkmate says yesterday I went to my first tournament of district level and ended 7 out of 9. Is it good or not? It's excellent.
Wow.
That's very
Amazing.
good.
Keep playing. You have done amazingly well. And by the way, Amruta,
Yes,
what
people
is
did get the answer. Bishop d4.
yes, what is very nice is India have won two silver medals, but the two brother sister duo
Oh.
are still playing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That is.
That's so nice because I think that's very cool to see that Praggnanandhaa and
Matlab, their mom would be in general quite a touched moment, no, in a way. Like,
yes,
just
no,
as-
I think not this time, and maybe this time they went alone or what, or their mom.
Not sure, no.
So yes, the move here would be bishop d4. Well done, all of those who found it. And with this, Prag will continue his grind. And this is where you will see the difference between a player who is rated 2450, that is Barsamina, whose rating is 2434, and 2700 plus player Praggnanandhaa, where he will continue to press. If Barsamina manages to hold it, I will be super impressed. But with 3 minutes per side,
Yeah.
it's not going to be easy. Also, Vaishali here, Amruta, clearly pushing and is better because you can see that she has an extra pawn already here in the actually two extra pawns. So that's I think her
two
win.
extra
Yeah, her
pawns.
win is pretty much guaranteed.
Lovely. In fact, random thing says chess medals will be the last medals won by India in Asian Games. So,
So
it
all
was like
actually
we all, yeah,
all
like-
eyes on chess.
yeah. Davis says Reliance Foundation is giving 1 crore for all gold medal winners.
Oh, सही है. 1 crore for all gold medals and
But then, will it be like 0 for silver? Because then I would rather prefer 1 crore totally for, something if it is divided between gold, silver, bronze.
yeah, well, you would prefer it, but how does your preference matter?
Nobody cares. It's like, nobody cares.
You're like, oh, I prefer that you use your money very well, wisely, divide. They're like, अरे भाई है कौन तू?
Oh my god. All eyes on this one, but no live broadcast says IPW law.
है ना भाई, ये live broadcast ऐसा ही है. No video, but
Oh, by the way, look at the time. Let's not forget 2 minutes to Paolo, and Prague has 4 minutes. Oh, he does play.
oh, he took on a5, which is the correct move. Actually, this is smart. Paolo, first decision by Paolo Barsamina is good. Not to go for this pawn, but this one.
Do you think, like, for me, when I look at this, it feels like now you don't have an outside passer.
Hmm.
And it feels like if something goes slightly wrong, this will very well end towards a draw.
Yes. No, Praggnanandhaa is walking a tightrope here. He has to be very careful about each move that he plays. Because if black coordinates, just imagine if his king comes here, black is already doing very well. So it's all about cutting the king off, finding some tactical ideas and so on, which Praggnanandhaa, by the way, really excels in. This is something that he really does well.
But sometimes we are forgetting it's the last round. And generally, last round, last moments, and one thing is physically, mentally, you are tired. Oh, there is one difference. In team tournaments, they did get some rest. Like one round, they were not playing, right? That does change.
No, some rest for sure they have, but I think right now Praggnanandhaa would be very much focused because for him it's also a matter of rating points, which is one of his key
Correct.
things that he's aiming for. So yes, while the silver medal is done and dusted for Prague, this is a personal challenge here that he has.
True. Very true. Aryaman says, congrats for 14 lakh subscribers.
Yes, thank you. We are very happy that we streamed Asian individual and also Asian teams. Niklesh and Sarvanan were there for Asian individual. India didn't win a medal there, but we did win 2 medals here. So yeah, we actually covered the entire Asian Games except for the first 2 rounds of or 3 rounds of the team. Yeah, I think 3 rounds of the team. We've been doing it from round 4 to 9, and also the first individual entire event we covered.
Yeah. And so the final moments of the final day, and Rakshit says 2K likes kar do chat. Yes, guys, 2000 people watching, 2000 likes would be great, and 2 silvers and 114 lakh subscribers would be not a bad end of the day. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's very good finish, and I think I'm actually feeling good. At some point, I must be honest with you, Amruta. I did feel. By the way, he gives a check, not Rook D7, King F7. I did feel a little bit thing like one gold would have been nice. India winning the gold, but at the end, if you ask me one gold for either of men and women and no medal for the other, I would prefer 2 silver medals any day.
Right.
That's very good. It also shows that our women players are doing phenomenally well in the country.
True. No, but I think the biggest learning for me was that the team event, the psychology plays such an important part where you have to keep looking at your teammates' games, the scenarios, the decisions are way different than an individual game. So it's very hard to judge chess like normal chess in a team. Like in a team event, it's very different kind of chess.
Like we remember what Mukesh did yesterday. Because at some point his endgame was drawn, he suddenly went and maybe checked the games. Oh my god, Arjun in trouble, Hari in trouble, I must play, and he went on to almost lose that game.
Yeah.
So that are the dynamics of team. There you are playing for the team victory, not for just yourself. By the way, we have a super chat from Anu, who has always been there and giving us this super chat. Anu 3170 for you. Thank you, Anu, for your super chat. Now for Prag, the question is next move what? Because you don't want the king to come here. So Amrita, I'll give a check here. If now the king settles here, I'll go and chop this pawn off. And then this h5 pawn would also be weakened. So perhaps king g6 has to be played. And maybe while we are talking about all of this, it's a good point to remind all our viewers that there is a very special camp that is happening by ChessBase India, and this is being done by Niklesh in Bhopal. But the trainer is I am Anup Deshmukh from 10th to 14th of October. This is when it is happening, and this is the schedule of it: 8:30 to 5 p.m. and these are the 5-day things. And at the end, there is a blitz tournament that is organized, and there will be first session, second session, meditation session, and there's also trainings and homework. Anup Deshmukh is one of India's very fine chess trainers. He's worked with players like Vidit, Abhijit Gupta, and many.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of camps as well, and wonderful coach there.
So if you would like,
in fact, you might even love to see his. I think he and Divya had played h4, h5.
Yes.
In the Nasik Blitz, but
I will.
A very experienced trainer there.
Yes, I will put the link in the chat. I will pin it so that you guys, anyone who is desirous of learning from him and his things, can.
Prashant Pala, Sagar Bhai and Amruta ma'am, are you coming to Qatar or not? So I can meet you. We are not coming to Qatar, but 2 members from our team, Aditya and Abhidaya, will be there.
We'll be doing live commentary here.
Yes, also guys, do remember from 11th live commentary, timing will be something around afternoon. We have to check exactly.
No, it's 5 p.m. I think.
Oh, 5 p.m?
It starts at 5 p.m. because the round is at 3, and I think the difference is 2.5 hours, so it starts at 5:30 if I'm not mistaken.
Cool. So Bishop D4. So Sagar, now this is completely equalized, and exactly that is what my worry was, that one-sided pawns, and it could be very difficult to convert.
And also Paulo is playing so well.
Paulo has played amazing actually. I think this was still at a critical moment. He found at move c5. At least that kept him in the game. I don't know where Prag went wrong towards the end, or it was a difficult position, though, I would say,
Yes.
with your pieces kind of tied down in defending. There was too much responsibility on the pieces. Go to your job, come back, take care of the kids, do your fitness, have to then have a night job also. So lot of things, yeah.
Thasreen says, where is the camp happening? In Bhopal, Thasreen, in Madhya Pradesh. Clock says, when are the books coming back in stock? Amrita, 14th October or 17th?
But 17th October they are coming to the office. I mean, they are coming to the port.
Yes.
So 1 or 2 days then. So
How? By the way, guys, how many of you do follow Gotham Chess? Levi Rosman. Can you tell us? Because I have a follow up to that.
Abdur says 108 medal is
Oh.
possible.
No, I'm very surprised with Prag's decision, Amrita. He took Bishop c5, Rook c5, and now gave a check.
Okay, King e6, Rook g7. Does he feel that why do we reach those kind of endgames again and again? Those 3 pawns on the king side.
So many of you follow the
Yeah, and Srirang Nene already says I want his book, but it is not available in India.
No, we have ordered it, so
Yeah,
it
it's
will be
just a
coming
bit-
soon. So
few more days.
when we stream live for Qatar, I think we'll have the book there for pre-ordering. It is, I think it's much cheaper than what you get in the US and so on. So yeah, we are ordering his book, which is I think it's How to Win at Chess, or it's called something like this.
So you think there is a chance in this rook endgame, like rook d7? Let's say if I go king g6, then I think e6 would be strong, right? If king g6.
Oh, he played king f8, Amrita. I'm surprised a bit because king g6 is also possible. And why
E6,
not
king f6.
why not go king f6? I mean that king e6, because here king e5.
Rook g5. I think these are definitely practical chances for white.
So you think that
a4, rook h8, a3, no, rook h8, rook a5.
g4 maybe, no?
Hmm.
Okay, rook h8, rook a5, yeah.
Rook e8 check.
This gets tricky, and I think
Yeah, he doesn't want to calculate with against Prague, yeah.
so he went back, king f8. Now e6 came in. Rook e5.
Oh, you're losing the no, you're not yet. King e7, rook a6, rook e6. I think they will draw. But then that's how much rating will Prague lose if he draws this endgame?
I think 2 elo points.
Got it.
Govin Chetty, thank you so much for your message from South Africa.
In fact, in Egypt, they are going to be having World Cadets this time.
Itachi says it would be -4. Really? So many
What?
points? Like if he draws here, he will lose 4 elo points.
Oh.
It's a lot of points for a draw. Someone had said that there should be a difference if you draw with white pieces or black for your rating change.
It's a very good suggestion.
Siddharth Chopra in individual chess, I think we finished. Arjun finished. I think Vidit finished 5th. Vaishali won.
Vaishali won. So 4-0 in women's and a clean silver.
I think women have done 4-0 in so many.
Yeah, at least
so many matches. I mean, just whenever we were streaming, they were doing 4-0.
Yeah, and no matter what, still it's never a easy thing. What is the schedule for Qatar Masters? I think why are messages getting retracted? I'm not sure.
He would have taken back.
Ah.
So I think from 11th it starts at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, roughly around 5:30.
And then the rest day is on 16th.
But do they have Sagar 40 moves के बाद time control extra time?
Hello Kimaya. Any bullet anti stream soon, Amruta?
But I wanted to, but now there are so many streams happening. So
Maybe
maybe
today after
learning
Amrita this
streams.
ends, you can play Bullet few games. Look at the happiness on her face. Come on, Amrita, you can do it.
At the end,
Yes.
without ending the stream, you
Yes,
mean?
without ending the stream to
But not on
celebrate.
your monitor. Yeah, it's like a.
Khelo yaar. To
अरे mouse
celebrate
को.
India's 2 silver medals.
Okay, maybe I can try. If that is the celebration, then I can.
Okay, I think Prague will accept a draw now.
I guess so. I was also thinking of maybe eating a cake to celebrate the 2 silver medal. But I will eat
Oh,
it.
they took the rooks are traded and he played King F3.
Okay, is there any possibility to go wrong? Because king pawn endgame is always one mistake and you're gone. So king f3, king e5, king e3, g6. Let me try to make 3 moves. Let's just see if there is any blunder possible. King f3, king f6. Yes, yes, that's a blunder. Congratulations. I had to find this.
Now you are allowing my king to come here. Also here, it would have been a draw if I didn't have the waiting move f3. Very important. Why? Because first I make use of one waiting move here. Then I go here. Again, at this
Like
point,
king h7.
it would have been a draw if I didn't have the waiting move now.
No, you king h8, king f8. You
Yes.
had king h8, king f8.
Yes. And now so these two waiting moves were very important.
Nice.
I think Prague will try some. But here king g5 wins, but king f6, because now with your one waiting move, I also have a waiting move. And then it's a draw.
Aditya Sharma says 107. 37 more medals from previous Asian Games, which is a great progress shown in sports, actually speaking. Either COVID after COVID, I mean India's interest in sports increased, or maybe I don't know if it is about other countries.
I mean, I would definitely, Amruta, I would like to also see if number of how many people more participated in this edition. Also, it would be very interesting to see if how many number of sports were reduced or increased. And I think then making the comparison from last year's would be more relevant. In general, it feels really good that your country is gaining more medals.
yeah.
But just like chess got added, so 2 more medals. If chess was also there last year, then maybe we would have some medals perhaps there.
Correct. Kimaya says ये तो शुरुआत है, next Asian Games और मजा आएगा. Yeah, with this I think that also will increase, that more funds are coming into the game, more awards. They can spend it better on getting good training, and wow.
Khelo India Games and government support through top scheme. Results are coming. Very nice. Yes.
Olympics 2024. Oh yeah. If we have to ask, like, which are the main sport countries, yeah, like in general, that would be in Olympics, right? Who wins the maximum medals?
Yeah, USA wins the maximum until now because they invest quite heavily in their athletes. That's okay. Draw. Guys, the Asian Games for chess is officially over now. India has won silver medal in both men and women, with Iran taking the gold in men and China taking the gold in women. Indian team scoring perhaps the highest game points in almost both the sections, Amruta. 29 in women and 25.5 in men. So a tremendous job by them. But match points wise, it was Iran who actually did a brilliant job with scoring 1 extra match point in men and 2 extra match points in women.
Wow, but we did get silver,
Two
and
silver
it
medals.
is also great somewhere that the tie break points were the highest. Yeah,
Yes.
like we were so close. It was the race between India Iran was just right there.
I'm going to ask
Oh,
some of our officials at the venue to shoot the closing ceremony, and I hope that we can put it up on ChessBase India for all of us, all of you to watch, where our great players, all 10 of them, will go on to the
yeah,
stage and receive the silver medal.
that would be so nice. By the way, Rakshit says it's a contribution of many factors, but one of the reason also has to be India's young population. In 2023, we are one of the youngest population. Oh,
Yes.
that's very interesting. Random things has said government has been giving a lot of support to the Olympic sports. All athletes talk about this in interviews, so that has also changed. Sagar.
Yeah, for sure, and I think it's very good. Also, we are seeing that in chess, um, the government support is incoming. We had the Olympiad happening in India. We now, I'm sure that in this Asian Games also, all of the costs and everything is covered by the government.
Yes.
So I think things will improve. It also requires a very strong sort of federation, which chess has right now, and I think it should continue the All India Chess Federation and the entire structure, because I think the moment your national chess federation is not very stable, then the players stop getting the benefits. The right players don't get qualified to the events. There are no qualification events happening for different age groups. Visa issues start happening. So I think it's very important that all of this is taken care of, which is right now being done. And I think a lot of factors have come together, at least for chess, to win 2 silver medals for India, because I think this is the best performance. We did win a gold in 2010. That time it was a mixed event. There, it was like 2 men and 1 woman. Their scores would be added up. So at that point, Hari, Shashi, and Humpy were in one
Oh.
team, and India had won gold. That was in 2000, not 10, it was 2006. In 2010, Harika only won 1 bronze in individual, and now this is the, I think, the third time that chess is in the Asian Games, and 2 silver. So I think I would put this as maybe the best.
Yeah, if you consider the whole spectrum, yes, you are right. Plus, another experience. So, next Asian Games, we are all more prepared. By the way, Tachi says the next Asian Games will be in Japan in
Ooh.
2026. And where is the Olympics in 2024?
Someone said no, it was in Paris, maybe.
Yes, Paris.
And also Olympiad is coming up in Budapest.
मतलब लंदन
Chess
देखा,
Olympiad.
पेरिस देखा और देखा जापान.
अच्छा, लंदन कहाँ से है?
तुम जा. Sorry. Wait, वो हो जाएगा. Oof. Okay, cool.
Okay.
You have any, and thank you all of you once again finally for subscribing and taking the subscriber count to 14 lakh.
Yes, our aim for this month end, or you can say for Qatar and for Grand Swiss, these 2 events which we are going to stream.
Yeah,
on
Grand
ChessBase
Swiss will be
India,
from 25th.
October to 5th November.
Yeah, you've got a 6-month visa, by the way.
Yes. So both these events we will be streaming, and our aim, little bit ambitious. We are going here to have 15 lakh, Amruta. 1 lakh in 28 days. Not easy, we know it, but we are going to work hard for it, because we are going to have the full coverage, live commentary, videos, shorts, analysis videos. Then for both these events, where we'll have all of our top players playing, so you guys will enjoy. So yeah. And Amruta, your bullet.
Okay, ठीक है, मैं मोबाइल से खेलूं? नहीं. अभी इधर वो मूव करने को ही 4 सेकंड जाती है, इतना बड़ा कंप्यूटर है.
ठीक है.
तो मैं, you want me to do from here or somewhere else? Like if you want to do commentary.
No, I will go to the club now.
No, wait. No, wait. And 2 games I'm playing, Sagar.
No, to play more. Give good time to
the without you नहीं, उनको तुम्हारी commentary सुननी है, Sagar.
अरे मेरे को
You have to go in the morning, early morning to Bhubaneswar.
Which ID you are playing with?
Oops, wait a second. Amrita Mukal. Okay.
Guys, you can challenge Amruta Mokal. So don't play normal game, no? Play with someone who's.
अच्छा नहीं वो सिर्फ for you to set up is easy ना. Okay, I've got the challenges.
Guys, we are celebrating India's silver medal with Amruta playing right now against all of you in Bullet. So if you want to challenge, go to leechess.org and
I've
challenge
accepted actually.
Amruta Mokal ID. She will play
Jethalal.
with you. Right now, she's playing
playing with
against
Jethalal.
Jethalal 003. Let's see how this goes. For the time being, Amruta is playing with the black pieces. She's moved her pawn forward. Jethalal has taken the pawn. She takes back. Center control. One of the biggest attributes of a good chess player. Look at how all her pieces are developed. She's inspired by the games of Vidit, Prag, and Gukesh. Also Hampi, Harika, Vaishali, Vantika, and Savita. And of course, pawn pushing industries begins. She's going to play that. She can't see my moves, by the way. I'm just making these arrows so that I know what she's thinking about, because after all, I know her very well. Guys, what a move. Yes. Oh, I couldn't guess that move. What is this noise coming?
Challenges maybe.
Oh, challenges.
एक second. Right now, don't disturb me.
Well, queen goes to b1. अच्छा, डॉन कमेंट्री करने का क्या बीविया गेम पे? चलो तो डॉन कमेंट्री ला रेला है अपन आज अपना. क्या बोले भाई, अमृता बेन खेल रेला है. इधर बिशप पे अटैक आ रेला है तो भी सोच रेला है वो. अरे बिशप को निकला भाई, क्या कुछ डरिच नहीं है भाई इसको. क्वीन ने पॉन को मारेला और ही शू शू कर रहे हैं. लेकिन अभी देखो गाइस, टाइम सिर्फ 13 सेकंड बचेला है. जेठालाल भाई क्या खेल रहे है तुम. बिशप को पिच्छू लाया ऐसा करके. इधर एक छोटा सा वीकनेस है, उस पे तो पूरा ही चढ़ रहा है इधर. अभी तो अरे मारने का था ना भाई. रुक लाया, दूसरा रुक लाया. बिशप पिच्छू गया भाई. अमृता के साथ कभी डिफेंसिव खेलने का नहीं, नहीं तो पूरा ही अटैक करता है. अरे क्वीन एक्सचेंज हो गया है. और ये क्या कर रहा है भाई, वो बहुत फास्ट खेल रहा है. तुम्हारा टाइम जा रहा है 4 सेकंड. और इधर रुक को पिच्छू लेके आ रहा है और अभी मर रहा है. और चेक दिया और मार सकता था. रुक को मारा, पीछे वो भी भाग रहा है. वो टाइम पे जाने वाली है, जाने जा रही है और टाइम पे जीत गई. जीत गई.
हाँ जीत गई.
ओ भाई रक्षित सिंह बोल रहा है जेठालाल वॉज मी. जीत जाता था भाई रक्षित भाई. क्या कर रहा है तू.
अरे यार पहले पता. अरे रक्षित क्या ही इम्प्रूव हो गया है. पहले पता
इम्प्रूव तो बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ था. इम्प्रूव तो हो गई इम्प्रूव.
मतलब पहले ऐसा होती थी उसको, बट शिट बहुत अंडर एस्टिमेट किया. मैं बोला जो आराम से क्या क्रश्ड है.
चलो नेक्स्ट गेम किसके साथ खेल रही है.
सेंडिल नाथन बहुत.
अरे सेंदिल नाथन बहुत डेंजर प्लेयर है भाई.
मेरे को एक बार
सेंदिल नाथन बहुत डेंजर भाई. 7वीं कक्षा में पढ़ता है वो, क्योंकि उसका नाम ही यूट्यूब पे सेंदिल नाथन 7 ऐसा करके आता है वो. पर भाई बच्चे ना मन के सच्चे नहीं, बहुत ही डेंजरस बच्चे रहते हैं. ये देखो इसने पिन कर दिया है.
ज्यादा बोलने का नहीं.
पिन कर दिया है. लेकिन अपना इधर सेंदिल नाथन बोल रहा है भाई पॉन मारो, मारना है तो मारो. अपन किंग को ऐसे साइड में लेगा भाई. क्या हीरो है भाई सेंदिल भाई. मस्त खेल रहा है. मजा आ रहा है, मजा आ रहा है. अभी ऐसा नाइट को आगे लेके आएला है और ऐसा सेंटर में पूरा प्रेशर. भाई सेंदिल नाथन तुम क्लासिकल चेस खेल रहा है क्या. इतना सोचेगा तो क्या करेगा. थोड़ा फास्ट फास्ट.
तू मेरे अपोनेंट को हेल्प
हाँ ऐसा पॉन को बढ़ाओ, पॉन को बढ़ाओ सेंदिल भाई. बढ़िया, ये देखो ऐसा डराने का सामने वाले को। अभी देखो कैसा पॉन पुश करेला। अमृता है ना, उसको कैसा है कि उसको ही पुश करना है सब जगह पॉन वगैरह। तो इधर कैसा तुम करेगा उसके सामने तो उसको पूरा टेंशन आता है। देखो पुश करने लगा। अभी D5 का कैसा वीकनेस हो गया है। नाइट को लेके आओ उधर, नाइट को लेके आओ। अरे बढ़िया, सेंदिलवाई ने खेलेला है नाइट को पिच्छू लेके उधर, नाइट को मस्त सर्किट में लेके आ रहा है। मस्त। अरे भाई तेरे पास 21 सेकेंड है, क्या कर रही है इधर? चू 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 मत करो। को पॉन मर गया, पॉन मर गया। बिशप को लाया है, अभी ऐसा आगे निकल रहा है। क्या खेलेगा अभी सेंदिल नाथन? भाई सेंदिल नाथन क्या कर रहा है? 12 सेकेंड है
अबे तू उसको खेल क्यों बोल रहा है? अच्छे से सोचने दो ना उसको, यही तो बुलेट है भाई।
पॉन पुश। ओ क्वीन पे अटैक लाया। टेक टेक टेक। इताची भाई बोल रहा है अपने को मॉडरेटर बना दो। चलो भाई इताची, तुमको मॉडरेटर बनाया। अपन शरण श्रीनिवासन को भी मॉडरेटर बनाया। जीत गया स्नेहाशीष अपना।
कौन जीत गया?
नहीं तुम जीत गए, सेंदिल
जीत
नाथन
गई।
को हरा दिया।
हाँ,
क्या बात है भाई भाई भाई।
अभी मैं लेती हूँ कि कोई तो सबसे टॉप किसने चैलेंज। ओ शुभी गुप्ता रहेगी ना ये शुभी। अबे
हाँ,
नेशनल
शुभी
जूनियर
गुप्ता।
चैंपियन के साथ खेलने को
फ्यूचर ऑफ
क्या ही
इंडियन चेस,
मजा।
फ्यूचर ऑफ इंडियन चेस। हाँ D4 भाई शुभी गुप्ता के साथ तेरा कोई चांस नहीं है। जल्दी खेल, जल्दी
अरे
खेल।
यार मेरा मिस हो गया वो। चल कोई नहीं, ओपनिंग में ही मैंने वाट लगाई।
अरे ऐसा तुम क्या गिव अप एटीट्यूड के साथ खेल रहे है? देखो शुभी गुप्ता भाई 13 साल की लड़की है, गाजियाबाद की।
ब्लंडर
पीस ब्लंडर किया है शुभी गुप्ता ने। अमृता अभी धो रही है उसको।
नहीं यार, अभी तक धोने का बाकी है।
अभी पीस अप हो गई ना, अभी और क्या चाहिए? ओ मेट कर भाई। शुभी गुप्ता को गुस्सा आया है, बहुत फास्ट फास्ट मूव कर रही है।
ओह माय गॉड।
अमृता को स्ट्रेस आया, स्ट्रेस आया, पूरा स्ट्रेस पे खेल रही है। पर देखो देखो दोस्तों, स्ट्रेस लेके खेलने में कोई मतलब नहीं है। तुम में ऐसा है ना, थोड़ा जिगर होना चाहिए कि अच्छे प्लेयर के साथ विनिंग पोजीशन आया, अगर हाथ कांप रहा है फिर क्या करेगा तुम लाइफ में एक गेम जीत के? हाँ देखो ऐसा 4 आने का ट्रैप कैसा लगा है। 4 आना भाई, यही तुमको सिखाया क्या मैंने? ऐसा चेक देके क्वीन को मारना था। बढ़िया। मेरे को तो लग रहा है शुभी गुप्ता अब तुमको धोने धोने वाले हैं अभी। ओ नाइट को पिछुली। ओ नाइट एक्सचेंज क्यों हो गया यार? क्वीन को इधर लेती थी तो कैसा होता था यार, जब नाइट था मजा आता था भाई। अमृता का तो अभी ऐसा जीत 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 पे जीत कर रही है। अगर आज उसने इधर भाई खेल, तेरे पास 10 सेकंड बच्चे, क्या कर रही है? खेल। 8 सेकंड। ओ भाई मेट पे मेट लगा रही है। शुभी खेलो। G3। अरे क्वीन लाया, मीट नहीं हो रहा है। F6 क्वीन F1 रुक, ऊपर लाया, क्वीन ने मारा चेक, किंग ऊपर में। ओ 2 सेकंड में बुखार आ गया भाई। उसने पीस ब्लंडर किया फिर भी तेरा इतना पड़ गया। अगर ऐसा ही खेलती थी वो तो धो ही डाल देती।
अच्छा गया था उसने एक्चुअली। नाइट G4 में वो नाइट निकल गया तब स्ट्रेस गया मेरा थोड़ा, बट F5 F6 आ रहा था। अरे
बट
यार
अगर उसने नाइट G4 के जगह अगर क्वीन C3 खेला रहता था तो तू क्या करती थी?
हाँ,
इधर कुछ था तेरे पास?
क्वीन B4 98 मेट। ओके गॉट इट।
हाँ ना, इधर तेरा वाट ही लग जाता था।
गॉन थी मैं।
ऐसा मेरे को लगा।
H6 भी नहीं यार, कुछ भी नहीं है। शिट,
माउस स्लिप हो गया ऐसे शुभी बोल रही है। ठीक है शुभी।
ओह सॉरी यार।
No, we of course we know that if you played normally you would
पर
have
फिर भी
crushed.
पीस देने के बाद तो भी क्रश ही कर रही थी वो वैसे।
हाँ ना, बहुत स्ट्रांग, वेरी स्ट्रांग।
मजा आया। ओके
हो गया खत्म।
हाँ, 3 गेम
एक
में।
लास्ट, एक लास्ट।
अरे रुक, फिर मैंने स्टाइलस वगैरह अंदर रख दिया था। ओके
मेरे साथ।
कौन तेरे साथ? तेरे को हारना है क्राउड के सामने?
क्राउड वो भी मैं बड़ा बोर्ड पे खेल रहा हूँ, ठीक है?
हाँ
बड़ा बोर्ड। रेडी?
लिंक भेजा?
कैसा चैलेंज करूँ तेरे को?
लिंक भेज।
प्ले प्ले विथ अ
व्हाट्सएप पे भेज।
फ्रेंड।
1 मिनट व्हाट्सएप पे भेज।
इधर जो भी पहला आएगा उसको मिलेगा। नहीं, ये तो 3+2 है, कैंसल।
अच्छा वैसा है क्या? अपन एक दूसरे को लिंक नहीं भेज सकते?
भेज तो सकते हैं। एक सेकंड अभी।
बस अभी क्या?
प्ले विथ अ फ्रेंड 1 minute without any increment, correct? Rated, not casual. Copy link. भेजा। वो साइड भाग गया मैं। अरे यार, क्या मेरे को तुम ऐसा ये कर रहे लिए?
क्या करेला?
अरे थैंक यू सर।
क्या? रियल?
क्यों नहीं?
बाप रे बहुत ही टाइम का प्रॉब्लम है भाई।
अरे भाई, कोई जगह ही नहीं बचा है भाई पीसेस के लिए।
I don't know what to do.
क्या क्या मारा?
टाइम
क्या?
टाइम गया। बिशप G4 मारा था पर बहुत स्लो था, 10 सेकंड स्लो हो गया।
और एक, अरे ये बंद करना आवाज।
कैसे? फिर खेलने का समझेगा नहीं ना मेरे को।
ऐसे।
नहीं पर मूव नहीं समझता। तू खेलेगा तो ठीक है चल।
लास्ट।
ठीक है रीमैच। Oh my god. Shit, man.
इतना दुखी तो मैंने तेरे को कभी नहीं देखा है यार। ए ऊपर से उधर आके मेट मत कर।
Whoa, nice.
अरे ये क्या है? ये कैसा इंसाफ है जज
You
साहब?
have to appreciate. No, my opponent. What else to do? गया.
ये कैसा
Okay, chal. Well
इंसाफ?
played. You might not be a GM, but you are a good eye. Good IM. चल बाद में देखते हैं तेरे को.
Preet Saripadia, this will, of course, every year we have a Diwali sale, so this year also it will be there. Sagar bhai, how will the prizes of World Cup predictions be given? As I had predicted 2 medals, no gold. This, no, Deepam Shah, we will go through. We've already announced all the previous contests. Many people say we don't do our giveaways, but we always do it. In fact, Himank chooses them, writes to them, we send them. So it always happens. Sometimes it gets a little bit delayed in selecting the right entry, but it is always there. So here also we will find who have given the right answer.
And in worst case, if nobody gets, maybe nobody found answer. It could be that way. But anyway, well played, Sagar Shah.
Thank you, sir.
And
Bye.
bye, guys.
See
Thank
you
for
at the
following.
Phoenix Market City Chess Club, guys.